bullied all through high school. No one gave a fuck. I'm serious. I complained to every authority. No one cared. Everyone was like, whatever. I'm like, gee, okay, fine. I'll deal with it in my own way. And it didn't go too well the day when the kid tried to attack me in the classroom. So I pushed him so hard against the wall that he made a dent in the fucking wall. And after that, he didn't really fuck with me anymore. He was like, oh. Like, yeah, I'm actually going to fight back since no one in authority back then would help with any shit like that. I was like, fuck this. Although I do regret the time when another asshole was bullying me. So I grabbed him and I pushed him as hard as I could. And he flew backwards and knocked it down, like, no lie, like 4 or 5 desks. And then the desks careened into a girl. And the girl got hit by a desk and was like, what the fuck? And I was like, well, I'm sorry. This guy was, you know, being a complete asshole. I really wish that didn't happen to you because you didn't deserve that. Things that never happened by Phil. Oh, yeah? Things that never happened? Listen. Listen. Fuck off. Fuck off. These things did happen. Oh, fuck.
It's been a hot minute. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News 2nd Edition. I am your host. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, small PSA, then we'll get started. It's been a little while since I've had a chance to record. You know, just kind of enjoying my time and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Made some changes and whatnot, so on and so forth. There's been some problems with the main channel that I am because I haven't been checking my messages or whatnot that I've been flushed with. Issues with the channel itself as well as some other things. It'll get worked out. The bigger problem is the fact that some of the videos have either been having a problem being uploaded for whatever reason, or I'm gonna have to re-record some of them because of whatever issues, whatever. In any case, I will take responsibility for that because I am the head of my team, so it is what it is, and it's really nobody's fault. Shit happens. And I will be back on the main channel to, like, hopefully content gets back on the main channel soon. I know that a PSA was put up, I don't know, it's probably been over a week now since it's gone up and whatnot. I just saw it a couple days ago. I'm working on it. That's all I can really tell you. I'm working on it. Sorry guys, it's just, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But with that being said, there's gonna be some changes coming in the future that's not going to make a lot of people happy, but until all of the issues with the main channel gets worked out, it's probably the best way to go and it's something that I feel like I kind of need. Well, because of that situation, I feel like there's something that I should probably do to better myself, to in turn better the content over there. So it is what it is. Some of you guys will find out. Some of you guys may already know what I'm talking about. If not, you know, you'll find out eventually. So it is what it is. But that's that situation. Anyway, so that's the PSAs, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I hope you guys are doing well. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. I am considering on recording some stuff on some off-topic things. Let's see, like this video should have been out a long-ass time ago. But I didn't do it before I took that, like, week off or whatever the case may be. But at current, there is a new Twitch thought that has appeared who's entitled, I want to speak on that. That'll probably be on the main channel. Low Tier God got into some shit with Cyril Blast and whatnot. I want to talk about that bullshit. There's a lot, actually, that I kind of feel like speaking on. I saw something under an old video that I did for Call of Duty that got me thinking, and I have some connotations on that, and then I have some Call of Duty videos already on the channel. It just hasn't been uploaded yet, so that needs to go up there on the main channel. I've got a lot of stuff that I kind of want to circulate with, but don't worry, the DSP stuff will it's still a thing, because he's done a lot of shit currently that's just silly and it needs to get called out on. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to do coming up, especially since I'm feeling a lot better and I feel in the mood to record. One other thing, though, is I was asked, will we ever get back into some Wings content? We will. Initially for the main channel, and that was supposed to be the last rollout, but I'm not going to do it now because there's already enough. There's just a lot of shit going on. There's like 4 main videos that I want to go out for the main channel, and then basically it's going on a hiatus. And then I have a bunch of stuff that I'm going to need to record. Like there's a bunch of stuff for Rich from Review Tech USA I need to hit on. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to get done, and then that'll trickle out until the Snort report comes back. However long that takes. But like, you know what I'm saying, there's a Monday Matt video I need to do. There's a Spoonie video I need to do. I need to go over the cancel culture thing with DSP and the 4 videos that were made on that. There's a lot of stuff I need to kind of jump on. Excuse me. But what I initially wanted to do, it was supposed to be the last rollout on the main channel, was I was going to do this segment called Pork and Wings. And it was basically going to be a crossover. It was going to be a crossover between Wings content and DSP content all wrapped up into one report. I'm still going to do it because I already have some episodes recorded. I just haven't uploaded it. But it's still a thing and whatnot. It's just I'm not going to roll it out when I'm going to, because now I want to change. I kind of want to change the format. That's really the big thing. But this way you kind of get the best of both worlds. The Snort report will still be a thing. It's just I'm gonna I would choose like another video. Like there's like instead of using the Snort report or using a Snort no video for that, I would use, I don't know, there's a bunch of great content creators out there that have that do small videos on DSP. I would have used one of those videos, and then I would have used a Conway Conman, a Lean video. There's a Fat Man who does some great Wings of Redemption stuff. There's a bunch of really talented people who do Wings of Redemption content. And then it just been a crossover show. I'm still going to do it, so don't get me wrong. It's not like I've put that on the back burner. It's still going to be done and whatnot. It's just I need to change the format now. I need to talk to the group. We'll get all that worked out, or talk to the team, I should say. We'll get it all worked out, and then that'll be a thing. So expect that. At least I would assume like mid this year, I guess. Anyway, that's enough of the PSAs because I'm just kind of starting to ramble now. We can go ahead and address all that stuff later. You guys are here for the funnies, so let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take you guys back to August 19th of 2015. DSPGaming. Oh yeah. Ah yes. Attacked again. Cannot stream. What happened? Ladies and gentlemen, this right here, and the year itself should actually scream out to you guys a little bit. Because just 2015 in general was a really shitty year for film. This is when the tide really started to turn, and this is when people really started to put the boot to his motherfucking neck, right? And when you usually hear about 2015, he usually tells you guys about false copyright strikes or false copyright claims on fan art, and how that could completely kicked him out of the algorithm, and why he doesn't show up, and why DSPGaming eventually fell apart. But he very rarely talks about, at least now, he very rarely talks about when he was streaming on YouTube, and how some copyright strikes that he ended up getting ended up affecting his ability or his inability to stream. Now, as you guys know, if you guys actually stream on YouTube or just make content, that supposedly, and I say supposedly for a number of reasons, I'll bring up an example in a minute, that we're on a 4-strike system here. Theoretically it's 3, but they call it 4 because the first strike allegedly like a channel strike, if you will, right? Supposedly not a community strike, but just regular strikes on the channel. Supposedly the first one's supposed to be a warning, and then you get 3 more strikes and your channel goes down. Well, that obviously it's not true, or it doesn't apply to all of us. Let me give you an example. Geekdom 101. Does any of you guys know who Geekdom 101 is? You guys might. If you guys follow the Dragon Ball Z community on YouTube, or Dragon Ball Super, or anything Dragon Ball related, Geekdom is alleged to be the king of that. He's not, but people put him up there as a well-known name. Well, Geekdom last year, 2019, mid 2019 was it? I think that was right before that whole situation with Perfection and Mad Black Atheist, and then how all that shit ended up going later on, which was just fucking embarrassing, by the way, watching how all that shit played out. But anyway, basically Geekdom got all these strikes on his channel. I can't remember if there were people just attacking him or if it was companies going after him. I can't remember. But this dude caught like 5 or 6 strikes and his channel was still there. He just couldn't upload to it. But the channel was still there. And he put this on Twitter. He had like 5 or 6 strikes on that channel. And it was still up. It was still up. And eventually he ended up getting it worked out. And eventually the strikes all went away. I can't remember what the situation was. But it was kind of shitty what happened to him. I'll say that much. I don't like Geekdom, nor do I don't have a problem with Geekdom. It's just, you know, it's whatever. I don't think much of him either, given some of the shit that he ain't done. But it is what it is. But he had like 5 or 6 strikes on that channel, and the channel didn't go down. Because I remember around this time, I was watching some of the videos that were on his channel because I wanted to see. I was like, there's no way he has like 5 strikes and his channel's still up. But it was. It was up. I was watching videos on his channel. Even the videos that got struck, allegedly, I was still watching them. I was watching a couple of those videos. The videos were there just fine. The ads were showing up and everything. Anyway, but yet again, he proved, and other content creators came to rally to his defense, that he really did have these strikes. And YouTube even admitted that, yeah, you got these strikes, we'll work it out. So that's why I say the alleged 4-strike system. But back in the because of that system, right? If you get the first strike, like I said, it's a warning. The second strike, you lose your streaming privileges, and then it keeps going until you get knocked down, until your channel goes down. Well, back in the day, especially in 2015, you catch 1 strike, you can't stream. And if you guys were following the internet blood sports community back when that was a thing, you guys know a lot about that. Especially when Monday Matt was running around here striking everything moving that had his name mentioned in it. You know, he took down, he screwed over a lot of people doing that shit. So anyway, Phil gets hit with that. He makes this drama video. There's a couple things I want to point out before we get into this. I want to try to make this a bit concise, despite the fact that I'm doing all this rambling. My apologies. Is one, he's under machinima. So they were going to work this out regardless. So whatever it was, whether it was a 60-day thing or a 90-day situation until he can stream next, until he can, until the strikes go away, doesn't apply to him because his MCN is going to work to get rid of that. So that's the first thing I want you guys to keep in mind. But because he can't stream, we do petty videos like this. Petty piggy videos. I like that better. He does petty piggy videos like this to go ahead and bring people in to make him feel bad for him and watch all the rest of his content until he knows until the strikes get lifted. And he knew the strikes were going to get lifted. He probably even knew before he even made this video on how long it was going to be until the strikes get removed. So I want you guys to see some of the pignosis in this, how dishonest it is, and how, in actuality, a lot of these alert videos, these actions needed videos, all this shit is to drum up sympathy so people can watch his videos, so he can bank off them, and then come back later on and be like, hey guys, I'm back. You know, look at, such and such company realized my self-worth, and now I'm back in it, guys, so we can pick up where we left off. And it's because of things like this, is the reason why people don't trust him. It's the reason why people have a very negative attitude against him and why no one takes him seriously. But Phil don't see that. He don't want to see it, I don't think. Because most of these lies, most of these videos, he probably don't even remember. Which is hilarious, by the way. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video and whatnot. Should be fun. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And for all of you guys who are just wondering what's going on with the main channel, I will, whatever videos that can't be salvaged, they will get re-recorded. Like I said, it's probably going to be 4 videos until a hiatus happens over there. So just keep an eye out for that. Like I said, if I have to re-record them, I will. So hopefully they'll be up soon. Like, you know what I mean? Like soon. So I know the message over there kind of went over it, but I'm just reinforcing it. So, like I said, my apologies either which way. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSPNEWS 2nd edition. I'll see you guys in a minute. Oh boy, it feels good to record again though. It feels good to record again.
Hello everyone. Turn off my air conditioner here. DSP here with another unfortunately not good news video. Even worse, quite honestly, than the video I put out a couple days ago in regards to the fact that I had false copyright claims filed against me on my YouTube vlogging channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, in regards to some intros to a show called Ask the King that I do once a month, which were submitted by someone way back earlier this year. I was given permission to use those intros, and then that person decided to bide their time. Apparently they were not a fan of mine, but actually a troll, and decided to file false copyright strikes against all of my vlogs of that style that had used that intro since February because they thought it was funny. So here we are, fast forward to 2 days later, today. And since that happened on Monday, I deleted all of the videos that use any kind of outsiders content.
I told you. If any of you guys have been following me for any period of time, I told you he deleted those videos. Everybody, well, not everybody. There's always a common misconception that it's like 300 or 400 videos, however many it was. Even the amount of views that those videos generated is still up in the air, so to speak. But one of the main issues was, did he delete those videos or did he private those videos? Now, let me walk you guys back to Spamgate real fast. Now, if you guys remember Spamgate, that's when DSPGaming was taken down for a little while and then eventually went back up. That was 2018, if I remember correctly. That was like 2018 when Spamgate happened. And when he was able to get the channel back and he was able to basically make all those videos go live, that's when people found all of those personal Q&A videos that he did for Patreon, and people started downloading all of those. I've spoken about that before. Another little treasure trove that people were looking for was those old pre-streams. Now, you got to understand, too, like when all of this happened during Spamgate and all the videos went live, you got to understand this shit was like a fucking fire sale. This was an arms race. Like, there was people literally being like, okay, look for this, look for that, and everybody was just kind of grabbing everything they could. And one of the things that didn't come up were the pre-streams that were missing from this gap of time. Those pre-streams weren't there. That further reinforces the fact that they were deleted. But there's always been a, not misconception, because believe it or not, Phil has said both, that he's privated those videos or he deleted those videos. He's flip-flopped between them a little bit. That if the videos were privated or deleted, and those videos were deleted. This idiot wasn't even smart enough to just private those videos. He deleted those videos. Now, the reason why I put all this emphasis on this is because when you delete the videos, ladies and gentlemen, you delete the views. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's what happened. If he had privated the videos, the views would have still been, the views would have still counted. Or at least that's what I surmise. He deleted those videos. This idiot was so panicked, he was so manic, that he sat there and deleted every one of those goddamn videos. Which means that situation was his fault. It wasn't, Jackie Chan's or Be Awesome Ones or whoever it is, or whoever they are. It's his fault. Because, yet again, he was under machinima. He was under the protection of his pimp. He should have let his pimp do their job. He should have let machinima protect his ass like they've always done. He should have let them take care of that situation. Instead, he thought machinima wasn't reacting to him fast enough, and this dumb fuck sat there and got all those videos deleted. Or deleted all those videos. And in turn, screwed himself out of the algorithm. Why would you think, ladies and gentlemen, that if you had, let's say, 400 videos that comes up to, I don't know, because like I said, the numbers are still up in the air, between 3 and 10 billion views, and you delete all of those videos, delete them, that would still register on your channel. Why would you think that? And if you decided to delete X amount of videos like that, in the hundreds, that you would still have the same standing in the search engine when your channel was already kind of dying because you weren't bringing views in the first place. This idiot really didn't think that out. And this is what happens when you live off impulse and don't actually let any logical thought come into place. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we're never going to see that email from Machinima and or YouTube saying, yeah, Phil, you need to delete these videos. That's why we're never going to see it, because it doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist because this Nimrod here was panicked because he didn't hear anything from Machinima, and he went ahead and took everything into his own hooves, and he fucked himself to this very day, even though he's in the search engine now. Even though he is in the search engine, he's just, the reason why he's not as high in the search engine as he was in, like, oh, I don't know, in his glory days of like 2012, is because his content is garbage and barely anybody watches it. And when they do watch it, they don't watch enough of it to make it relevant. That's why. That's why his ads are garbage. That's why YouTube's essentially dead. And that's the reason why for the longest time he was calling it just an archive channel, because it don't mean nothing. He doesn't eat off of it the way he used to. That's the reason why you see him over there on Twitch, miserable as shit, whoring himself out with that vest bullshit. That's why he looks like he's dying every day. He looks worse and worse every day I see Phil. Every day I see him on stream, if I'm watching his streams, or if I'm watching Snort content or whatever, or Mighty D's or whoever, he looks terrible. He's getting worse. And I don't mean the content, I mean him. He's physically getting worse. He was a sickly looking pig right here. But Jesus Christ, he don't look like you can see him slowly start to decrepit. He literally looks like the walking goddamn dead over there now. Believing that he can still win. Believing that it'll all turn around. He's given up. Look at him now with that whole vestige bullshit, that whole vest streak or whatever. Trying to pretend like this is some fake Undertaker shit. He's given up. And now I'm hearing that, oh, he's thinking about shopping around for different vests for the seasons. He's given up. This is the only way he can make money. That's why that tip goal thing is gone. That's why it has to be the vest goal. That's why he keeps driving along this idea that, oh, the vest streak could end. The vest streak could end. Trying to appeal to former WWE fans and his audience who may still feel a certain type of way about them fucking up and destroying the Undertaker streak. For example, it's a play. It's an angle, I should say, that he's trying to do. Because his tip goals were never this successful. But look at what it's reduced him to. Like I said, we'll touch on that on the main channel though. We'll address that shit on the main channel. But that's what that shit is. He's given up. He's literally given up. And now people are asking for Teespring shit with like some type of vest design on there or whatever. He's given up. But then again, at the same time, if Jasper outside of the $2,100 that he made off Jasper, if the whole Jasper scheme on stream could have been that successful, or could have been as successful as this, we would have already had Jasper t-shirts. We'd have had that shit all over. We'd have had Jasper t-shirts, mugs, all that, stickers. We'd have had all that by now. But see, he can't control Jasper because Jasper ain't his. It's Catherine's. And since Jasper wants to go in there and fuck everything up, like a good cat, like a good kitty, and he can't control him, and that water bottle thing, he started to smarten up and realize, maybe spraying water around my around my electronics isn't exactly the smartest fucking move. That's why Jasper barely come in there. And that, in truth, he doesn't have the relationship with Jasper that he makes it out to be. That's quite literally and quite clearly Catherine's cat. And when Catherine's home, you don't hear a peep out of Jasper. And in actuality, I don't know if I can't speak on Kiwi Farms if that's how they came to that conclusion or not. But the way I looked at it as, when Catherine's home, Jasper is nowhere to be found. And I think that right there is the best judge of how, at least most of the time, not all the time, on whether Catherine's home or not. And what day she's home. Is Jasper there or not? Especially at night. Mainly at night, to be honest with you. That's the best way to figure it out. And it's also funny, too, because someone did drop me a line about her working in apparel. Big ups to that person if they watch me on this channel. But since Catherine does work in apparel, that's no big secret or nothing. Do they not sell vests at the store she works at? Why don't she just pick him out one from there? I'm just throwing it out there. You know, I'm just putting it out there. If they don't sell it, they don't sell it. But that's just my way of looking at it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Yet again, we are here with DSPGaming. Attacked again, cannot stream. What happened? This is from August 19th of 2015. Yikes.
On the King of Hate vlogs, thinking, all right, you know, I'm protected now. That was the only channel where I ever used like intros or whatever from someone else who had submitted them. And quite honestly, did I think that anything else could possibly be at risk? No. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because as you guys and gals know, that I take fan art that I use in my pre-streams and my montages and things as a way to interact with the fans, to give back to you. You make awesome fan.
And yet again, so sorry, I kind of jumped the jumped the shark there a little bit, in the fact that he sat there and deleted all that stuff off the King of Hate vlogs, which he didn't need to. It would have been equally as protected over there as well. But now we're going to get into the DSPGaming part. But yet again, why are you deleting anything? Just private that shit. All right, well, anyway, let's continue.
Art for me, I play it during commercial breaks on my streams. I play it during the pre-streams of my streams, and it shows up in videos on YouTube, and you enjoy it. You like the fact that you have that interactivity with me. And I have a forum, a thread, on thekingofhate.com, my website that I own, where you can post it up. In fact, I'll actually show right now. Here is the first post in that thread when it was created back in December of 2014, saying, this is the thread where you can submit your artwork to be used in streams. That's the first post of the thread, meaning legally. If anyone posts content in that thread, it means it's legally okay to use in a fan art or a stream or a pre-stream or whatever that I see fit, because it says right freaking here.
That's not a legal notice. And no, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. That's like saying, let me try to give you guys an example. I got a good one, actually. Okay, I do have a good one. Somewhat good one. All right, so Snortbucks Coffee. We all love Snortbucks Coffee, right? Okay, Chio18 made that logo. Right? Made that logo for Snortbucks Coffee, yeah? To say, if you wanted to go by the logic that Phil's saying right now, that's like saying that I could take the Snortbucks logo and use it basically on any type of merchandise and pass it off without the express permission of Chio18, just because I promote it. That's kind of like what that's saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Chio18 came up with the logo and sent it to me, and then I promoted it on the channel. But that's almost like saying that gives me legal precedence to do whatever I want with it. It don't. It doesn't give me legal precedence at all. Because at the end of the day, I didn't create it. I still need Chio18's permissions to do so. And so if I was going to do something like that, it's just much easier to just go into business with them. And then everybody can profit. That's the best way to go about it. But that doesn't give me legal precedence to do it. It's like, let me give you another example. That's like if Super Sloth Pants, who actually created my original backgrounds for DSPGaming, which I'm bringing that back. So yay to that. That's like saying if I wanted to slap all of that stuff onto a shirt or onto a mug or make a poster out of it or whatever the case may be, I could just go ahead and do that and sell it, and I have legal precedence to do it. I don't. I would still go through her, see what she thinks, and then in actuality, it's just easier just to go into business with each other. Let me give you my last example. That's like Sunspot Gallery. We all know Sunspot Gallery. Good friend. It's like going to him and go ahead and using any one of the many designs that he's made, whether of depicting myself or of DSP or whatever, and slapping that onto a shirt, putting that onto my Teespring, and then selling it and not telling him. Same concept. Like, I wouldn't do that. I don't have legal precedence to do it. Even the drawings that he made explicitly of myself, if you will, I still wouldn't slap that onto any type of merchandise and sell it without going through him first. It's just a respect thing, first off. Two, just because he made it for me doesn't mean that I have all of the rights to that image. You know what I mean? Like, it works like that, and that just goes with any type of artwork that's made for you, whether it's fan art, whether it's just appreciation, whether, hey, I drew this, I thought it was something cool, whatever the case may be. That goes for anything. And that's whether they send that to me through Twitter or they send that to me through an email, or they send that to me if I had my own website, through my own website, that's not legal precedence. Just because you put a post there, that doesn't mean legally anything about anything. Just because you own the site, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And why he doesn't understand that, I think, in a lot of ways, ladies and gentlemen, explains why he's in the legal problems and the issues that he has now. This is what happens when you let a bunch of kids make you believe you're more than what you were. That's the reality. That doesn't mean not a goddamn thing. Just because you're putting it up there with the explicit use to use it, for example, for your videos, doesn't mean you own it. At least not outright like that. You can't slap that on a shirt, right, Phil? You wouldn't do that unless you asked them to do that. So just because you can profit off of it on YouTube doesn't necessarily mean you own it. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
By posting in that thread, you are giving me permission to use it. Okay? That's what this post means. Legally, there's no leg to stand on. If you post something in that thread, I have permission to use it. Okay? So today I'm live streaming, and my live stream goes dead. Right near the end, by the way. It wasn't like it was mid-stream or early. It was just way near the end of the stream. The final match that I was going to play of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the stream goes dead. And I'm looking, I'm like, well, I look like I'm still streaming. I don't understand what's going on. But then I see people in my stream chat saying, no, Phil, your stream is dead. I don't know what's going on. Your stream is dead. So I go to the YouTube page, which is the page you look at when you're streaming, and it says, YouTube has turned off your stream. Obviously, that's never happened before since I started streaming on YouTube since November. Something's gone wrong. So, of course, just like what happened with the King of Hate vlogs, I refreshed my page on DSPGaming, and I got a big pop-up in my face forcing me to look at it saying, Dear DSPGaming, you have received a
forcing me to look at it. Keep that in mind, because that's important moving forward.
Copyright strike against this particular video, and you can counter-notify it or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But your ability to stream has been revoked because you have a copyright strike against your DSPGaming account. Now, keep in mind, my DSPGaming account is my bread and butter. This is what pays my bills. This is daily what I...
Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this idiot was still being paid off King of Hate vlogs, too. And it was a managed... partnership account, too. Keep that in mind.
I use to put out gameplay, to live stream. Without this channel, I don't have a job. Alright? So, anyone putting a copyright strike against the channel is not looking to make a point, is not looking to even troll so much than to end me. To say, I don't want you to exist anymore. I want you to go bankrupt and lose all your money and lose your house and lose your well-being because I basically want to hurt you. Physically.
You guys hear why, remember how I told you, they're forcing me to look at it and whatnot? You guys understand now why I said, hold on to that, why that might be prevalent later on? The whole, they're going to force me into bankruptcy, they're going to force me to do this, they're going to force me to do that. It's amazing how, it's ironic in a lot of ways, actually, on how all of that played out later. And remember, this is 2015, and we're talking like this. If YouTube don't work out, I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy. Yikes. Think that's how little he thought of himself and his self-worth and his ability to do anything in life. Entertaining is not in Phil's repertoire. At least not not to his benefit anyway. It's not something he can do. It's more at his benefit than for his benefit, really. But it's not something he can do. 2015, he could have done something else. He probably should have. He probably should have started to kind of rev himself up to get ready to put some other things in line for himself in case shit happens. Didn't do it. He was too content with sitting on his ass and being a dumb bitch and wanting people to take care of him. He may very well be the ultimate thought. I know I've made the joke about Alinity and Amaran, but Phil Burnell may very well be the ultimate thought. He may have. The ultimate money whore. The ultimate cam slut. He may very well be it. Way before people even knew what those terms were.
is what this says, okay? Now, if there was a legitimate copyright claim and I had actually stolen someone's content, then you have every right. But the bottom line is, the thing that was put as a copyright strike against me today was a piece of fan art. And I'll even show you the claim that was put up here. I think this is it. Hold on. Here it is. This was the claim put up, yes, ladies and gentlemen, for The Witcher 3 pre-stream from May 19th, 2015. So if you go back in there, you'll see it's the montage of fan art that I talk over for the pre-stream. Guess what it was? It was a...
Wait a second. Claimed by Be Awesome One. Oh, I know what this is now. Well, I mean, I alluded to what this was before, but now I know what this is because Tevin did a video on this back in the day too. Oh no! Oh no! I know what this is now. Like, I know for sure. I don't want to ruin it. You guys smell that bacon? Y'all smell that bacon? You're gonna taste it in a minute. You guys are gonna taste it in a little while. Savor the flavor.
Picture of me sitting on my couch, okay, laughing, and someone had superimposed the game box of The Witcher 3 pushing me like this. That was the piece of art. So first of all, the art...
That's not fan art, though. That's troll art. Like, that's obviously to disparage and undermine you. That's not fan art, Phil. Because it was free? You think that's fan art? Oh, savor the flavor.
Artwork in question is already illegal because it used a still frame from my copyrighted video without my permission to make the piece of artwork. So legally, I own the art. It's just that simple. The ownership reverts back to me because you used my piece, my video illegally. You cannot do anything or make any kind of a claim on that via copyright. I own it. Okay? But that's the piece of artwork that apparently is in question. So here it is. And of course you can see right here it says, Be Awesome One.
That doesn't necessarily work that way either. No, see, funny thing. It's silly ass claims like this is the same reason, is one of the same reasons I should say, that Susie Lou is currently going around doing the dumb shit she's pulling, which is eventually going to get her ass sued. Eventually. I mean, well, allegedly, she's already going to be sued. Like, because now you're trying to steal from Japan, and Japan will fuck your world up when it comes over their shit. Like, please believe. So whoever it is that's protecting Susie Lou on YouTube and that nonsense, go ahead. Help yourself, buddy. But what she's doing on her website and what she's doing through Patreon is absolutely illegal. And she's going to have to bite the bullet on that. But not just that. Her going around and taking down all these videos. Actually, sorry, let's start from the beginning. Because now I'm kind of throwing out the story without actually giving you the story. All right, Susie Lou. Susie Lou is somebody who does gameplay stuff. Now I'm hearing she really kind of does reaction videos now, I guess. She's a content creator on YouTube. And I think she has a Twitch, if any of that even means anything. But what happened was, I think it was last year, it was either 2019 or it was like late 2018. A small channel took a clip of her playing some game for VR. They took like the last like 30 seconds of it. And they memed it up. Because they thought it was kind of silly, and they thought it would be kind of funny to meme this shit up, having some chick cry about the virtual world, because she was crying about it, and how it was so real, and I don't want to leave it, I want to leave you forever, and it was, she overreacted in the video, first off, and then her cuck boyfriend comes in and does that whole hug shit, making him look like some sad puppy, which is an offense to me, by the way, but anyway, comes in and gives her a hug and whatever, try to comfort her. Anyway, this guy took 30 seconds of that shit, memed it up, which transforms it, and then put it in one of his videos, and shit. It wasn't to bully her or anything. It was a funny situation. You see that shit all the time on Twitter. You see it on Instagram. You see it on all these different places. Susie Lou takes it upon herself to take him down. The commentator community rallied to his defense, and they essentially questioned her on it. She ducked and jived. She went ahead and said, "Oh, it's my copyright. It's my face. I can do what I want with it. yada, yada, yada. They had no right to do this, that, and the third. And eventually she lets it go. And she lets it go because, to make a long story short, she was wrong. The way she thought copyright worked, if you heard her original statement, was absolutely fucking wrong. Like, she clearly didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. And like most big YouTubers who are just generally misinformed about how YouTube works, the moment they get over 100,000 subs, not every YouTuber, by the way, but most YouTubers, they just go ahead and think, oh, I can take down whatever the fuck I want. But the thing is in contrast to that, that shit's taboo amongst content creators. If you have a real problem, you just reach out to the content creator. Or you can have the video taken down without actually flagging or without actually striking the channel. I've spoken about this before. She didn't choose to do that. She chose to get the video taken down and then eventually to eradicate the channel. Because Susie Lou has a hard time taking criticism, apparently. And so she eventually, after X amount of time, where Keemstar threatening to make a video on her because she was breaking copyright, or she was misusing the copyright system, she ended up backing off. And then she goes quiet for a little while. She becomes the butt of everybody's jokes because this is not what she pulled. Happened not long after the Monday match shit. And I know most of you are probably like, yo, GTG, where's that fucking video at? I'm sorry. It's coming. It's coming. It's off the cuffs of that. So she picked the wrong time to do some stupid shit. And so they memed her out. She went quiet for a little while, and then she picked up and just started all over again. And whatnot. And she's been doing it ever since. The big target that she went after was she went after Tipster, Nicholas Diorio. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And John Swan, I think his name is. She went after mainly John Swan. She went after she also went after Quartering too when he reported on the situation. So all these guys made videos on Susie Lou, whether past or present. She's trying to strike all those channels away. And mainly she went after the John Swan video because he pointed out the hypocrisy of the whole Susie Lou situation. He has the whole video wrapped up in a nice, clean, neat little package. That shit is sexy. That shit is sexy how he has all that. How he has that whole thing tied up. And she tried to strike the video down. And Memology 101 actually did a video talking about the situation, I believe. And it's well done. If you guys really want to know more about it, if I remember to, I will link John Swan's video in the description. And you can check it out for yourself. It's very, very well done. And it's all there. Now, if I remember correctly, he said he had to edit a little bit of it to take out a particular part that she was going to try to strike. She did strike down his original video, by the way. But the re-upload is there, and I think Memology has the actual original video, which is linked to one of his videos. Like I said, if I remember to, I will link the John Swan video for sure. And if I also remember to, I will link the Memology video, because I'm here by myself on this one, so that's kind of up to my responsibility. But if not, I mean, if someone remembers, they'll do it. But that's the thing with Susie Lou, and just not understanding how copyright works. Phil Burnell is right there. If anything else, you could say he's not patient zero, but he's pretty goddamn close when it comes to this lolcow shit. And it's because of that, and this is what Susie Lou don't understand, because she thinks her sub count's going to protect her. And the amount of money and the 10 grand she makes on Patreon, reacting to full episodes of anime and not think that Japan ain't going to come and get days, don't seem to understand is that the more you do shit like this and the more that you decide to attack other content creators who have an opinion on it, these are the things that morph you into a lolcow. You know what I mean? Like, lolcows there are two different types of lolcows. The ones that are born and the ones that are made. Pure and simple. And it's very, very easy for a YouTuber who may not be on your radar because maybe they never did anything to be on your radar to go around and do some fuckboy shit like this and start slowly but surely through their attitude and their actions start basically morphing into a lolcow. It's literally just that easy. And I think the Susie Lou thing will prove my point. So I'll write that down so I can make sure I get that in there.
Right? Made the claim on the 19th, which was today. So you may say to yourself, what is this? I don't understand this process. Basically, here's what happened. This person, Be Awesome One, who is a troll, a known troll. This person trolls me in my stream chat all the time, comes in, says nasty shit, derails the stream chat. He gets banned. He comes back in with new IPs or new addresses or whatever it is, and gets back to the stream chat to troll some more. He's trolled my forums. He trolls my Twitter. He trolls everything. His entire life revolves around trolling me because he has no life. And that's the sad thing. You really, if you look at this guy's Twitter account, if you look at this guy's like social,
you sit around and play video games poorly, and you have a really shitty personality, and a really shitty attitude, which in turn has cultivated a very shitty community around you, and then later ended up forming against you. You never thought in some way, shape, or form it's your fault, which goes back to the lolcow thing. Like, the more you try to hide shit, your misdeeds, and the more that you try to play off your misgivings or whatnot, people are going to poke at it. You should just take it and move with it if you don't have a real justification behind it. Susie Lou, for example, don't. Just like Monday Matt didn't. And here's the thing. And for any of you guys who have actually been following the Susie Lou thing, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. The reason why Susie Lou keeps fighting the way she does is because she knows she's literally halfway into the boulder quarry. She knows it. And she knows that if she gives up, that she's going to be right there where Monday Matt is. And she can't afford that. I don't know what Nick Rekieta did a brief video on it. I guess that's another video I could attach in the description if I remember to. That going over the situation too. And saying that shit's not copyright, because it's not. Man, well, actually, was it a video or was it a stream? I think he did a stream, actually, where he went over... I think he dedicated like 30 minutes to it, reacting to her reacting to shit. And it's clearly not reactions. I think that's in the John Swan video too, though. So I might not need to link that. I'll try to anyway. I want to try to be thorough. Because if you guys aren't following the Susie Lou thing, you should. You know what I mean? It should. Because... mainly, ladies and gentlemen, we take ourselves, and I'll lump myself in there just because so I'm not an asshole, but we take ourselves too seriously online. This isn't, it's not meant to be like this. I don't know what it really is meant to be, if anything, but it's not supposed to be this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's less about entertaining people, and it's more about self-validation, I guess. I think. And that hurts the content, which in turn puts a target on you. Nobody is above criticism. No one. And the moment you start, and if you can, if it's blatant lies, for example, or blatant slander, that's one thing. You should try to fight against some of that. But if this is just lolcow shit that you've done, or lolcow-like behavior that you've done, and then you try to hide it, or you have people in influential positions trying to hide it for you, that's wrong. And it's not. And then the content isn't about entertaining anymore. It's about, this is how great I am, and this is why I should be protected, which is exact same shit that Phil has done. And this is kind of the problem. You know what I mean? Like, you know how people make the argument, oh, I used to be able to say this term right here. I used to be able to say this term right here. And maybe not racist slurs. They may be considered racist slurs now, but I used to, you know how, let me reword that. Let's scratch that. Let's completely remix this. Okay, comedians back in the day used to say some wild ass fucking shit and they got away with it because it was funny. Now, people get offended by some of that shit. Does anybody ever really come to the realization on why people get offended by some of this shit? One, because maybe the comedian that's delivering it isn't that funny. Two, maybe because the joke isn't as relatable as maybe early comedians could do. Comedians delivered it. And three, and this is true to an extent, times have changed, and you have to navigate through it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the reality. Do people take themselves too seriously? Has shit kind of spiraled off into this interesting anomaly of everybody wanting to be inclusive and being, and people wanting to be identified a certain type of way and people wanting to belong, sure. Sure. It has certainly turned into that. How it turned into that, I couldn't tell you. It was bad enough, maybe not bad enough, but back with I guess early comedians, it was mainly race jokes because that was the fucking hot topic and they wanted to try to make light of it. But even then, you didn't have a comedian on stage who would say the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be wild. I mean, outside of, your typical black comedians, but outside of that, no one's going to pull that shit. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't dare try to pull that shit. If you were white or Hispanic, now if you were Hispanic, you'd probably pull it. I've seen a couple of Asians try to pull that. But if you were white, you wouldn't do that shit. You wouldn't even try it. It would be, it's not something that you would do. You could easily get your point across by going about it in a different way, right? Or you would just poke fun at, black stereotypes and so on and so forth. As time has gone on, though, that shit gets old because it starts to become the general perception of everything. Let me give you an example. Not a good example, but I'll give you an example because I'm not trying to dwell on this. There is a commercial that came out of China. I think I saw it. I don't know if it was referred or if it was referenced in a Gundam video, or it's a Gundam video or not. But there was a really, really pretty Asian chick, and she was washing clothes, and in this huge ass washing machine, and this black dude who's in this shirt, I can't remember what color the shirt was. I don't know if he was already in the washing machine or if he stepped into the washing machine or if she put him into the washing machine. I can't remember. But the point is, she's putting these clothes into the laundry because it's supposed to be for a laundry commercial. She puts the black dude in, it goes through the wash and everything, and he comes out Asian. And I was looking at that and I was like, there's a lot of people who got mad at that. And I was looking at this and I'm like, is that how they perceive black people? And when you think about it, yeah, that's kind of how they do. You can see that you can kind of see some of that in animation on how black people are depicted, for example, and Hispanics as well as others, nationalities or whatever. So you can see why some people would have a problem with it. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit there and fight the fight on someone else's perception. You're not going to say that shit to me. But if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just the reality. And comedians have to evolve with that. We kind of all do. The whole concept of getting away with saying whatever you want to say and calling it a joke is not going to work anymore. That's why you have a lot of these supposed edgelords who run around and want to drop the N-word like it's no big deal, but they will. Okay, so it's cool to drop the N-word and say, "Oh, I'm trying to be edgy," but you won't use that slur against anybody else. No one will ever use that slur against Jews, but it's okay to just go ahead and use it against black people. Well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. And this underlying movement to normalize the N-word is kind of silly in itself. And when I mean that, I mean just anybody using it. Like, no one should be comfortable using that word. Nobody. But you can't stop people from using it either. So, with that being said, and this is something that people like to use a lot, oh, well, black people use it, why can't I use it? All right, fair enough. If that's the case, no one should realistically use it, but it makes it very difficult for me to tell you, hey, don't use that word, that's offensive, when these people over here that look just like me use it too. But then you can't get mad, you over here, that if people call you racist. You can't get mad for that. You can't run around here and say, "Oh, I was doing it just to be edgy. I'm not racist." And then a bunch of screenshots come out later that you actually use the hard R or use the N-word in general around your friends, and they're not black. And most of them tell you not to use it, and you still use it. It's stuff like that. That right there starts to become the underlying issue. Now, whether that's just something that's come with time, or whether people are just tired of hearing it, or whatever the case may be. This whole concept that everybody wants everything, not everybody, but people want things to go back to the way it was in the 90s or in the 80s or whatever, is something that we kind of just generally need to let go. Because they definitely didn't do that shit back in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? No one was pulling that shit back up in the 60s, and if you were part of a part of a society, or you were part of a movement, and you had to live that life. And no one wants that. Everybody wants to say the N-word, but no one wants to be a racist. Everybody wants to make jokes about Hispanics, but no one wants to ever be looked at as racist. Everybody wants to run around and be extra cautious around Asians because everybody believes that every Asian carries the virus and shit, but they don't want to be looked at as racist. Oh, I'm just taking a precaution. When in actuality, we all probably have it. More than likely, we all have it. And it just affects all of us differently. At least that's my theory. It's stuff like that. Times have changed. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Times have changed. And make of all that what you will and whatnot. Times have changed. And that's what the situation is. And what you're finding is that people have a much harder time changing with it. Because why would you say something that you don't believe? And that goes back to that really pathetic argument about, oh, I'm not racist, I have black friends. Do you say that around your black friends? Do you say that around your black friends do you say that around your parents' friends who are black? Would you say that around your Asian friends? Would you say that around your parents' Asian friends? Or Hispanic or whatever? See, no one wants to ever answer those type of questions. And that leads to numbskulls like Phil Burnell. And his dumb shit. And his crazy nonsense. At the end of the day, he only holds on to that particular argument, for example. Let's close up shop on this. The reason why he holds on to that particular argument because it made him popular. It was something for him to exploit and put out how he really felt about those people, and people laughed at it and praised him for it. That's the reality. And the fact that he can't make jokes at other people's expense, it bothers him. But that's ironic, ladies and gentlemen, because people make jokes at Phil Burnell's expense all the time, and he says that hurts him. And he says that hurts his business. And that hurts his way of life and how he makes a living. Seems a bit like a contradiction. So that goes back, so now to bring this full circle, when you get back into the Susie Lou situation, if people are going to poke fun at you, people are going to poke fun at you. You need to take that and move on it. Most of the people that are laughing at it probably aren't watching your content anyway, and probably are not going to. And if your content really is good, then they'll overlook that and they'll actually watch it. Right? Right? Right. That's generally how that'll work. But now you want to run around, you want to take down everybody who has something bad to say about you. You're only bringing more eyes onto you, and you're only making yourself that much more of a target. And for what? It's not going to get you anything at the end. And you're just going to get labeled a lol cow, and then you're just going to be a joke. You're just going to be a laughingstock. And not for nothing, Susie, but Susie Lou isn't that pretty. So it's not like she has that much to rely on. And she kind of just comes across as very entitled and condescending in a lot of ways. As most Twitch thoughts are. It's not going to get you anywhere. But anyway, slight divergence from what we were actually talking about. My bad.
On the internet, he's a sociopath. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't explain it. If you look at the guy, he's a sociopath. Okay? He's out to get me because he feels that there's something that I've done to wrong him over the years that he really wants to fucking hurt me.
So let's now that we're back on target a little bit. So he's a sociopath because he trolls you. Because you open yourself up to be trolled. Because if you took what you do seriously, or if you could actually laugh at yourself, there would be nothing that could hurt you. There could be nothing that could bother you. You're bad at games. Accept that shit. You say it yourself. I'm bad at games. I'm not the best at games, so on and so forth. Then why do you get so mad when people point that out? You see what I'm saying? Why do you get mad at this is how you don't play is when you already know that you're bad? Or, to go back to DSP lore, I play games the way I play them because they're not meant to be taken seriously. I never took this seriously. I play everything half-assed because that's how I feel, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Then why do you get mad at this is how you don't play when they make light of it, when they laugh at it? Oh, because that hurts me. But how does it hurt you if it's all supposed to be funny anyway? If it's all supposed to be taken as, you know, not serious. If it's all supposed to essentially be a joke. Why are you laughing at the jokes that are made at your expense? And this goes back to what I said earlier about we've taken ourselves too seriously. This is all supposed to be entertainment. And it's funny how the people who take themselves the most seriously doing this shit are the very people who probably can't do much of anything else. Whether they're too lazy or too stupid. Just throwing it out there. If you look at some of the channels out there who act like this, can you really see them doing anything else? Like, not even big channels, just any channel out there that does silly shit. Let me give you another example. Bad Bunny. When she had done her little self-entitled shit. Could you really see Bad Bunny being able to do anything else? Really? Seriously? Outside of either bagging your groceries or being the chick that welcomes you when you walk through a store, a department store or something in the mall? Maybe if she applied herself. But, I mean, if you've seen how some of those streams are driven, if you will, or how she runs them, it's kind of just me. Here's my opinions and I'm always right. Despite the fact that most of the opinions are wrong anyway. What is that? And you're seeing that more and more on Twitch. Hence the reason why the people who have talent on Twitch get buried while everybody else runs around like some self-entitled twat. And the ones who do actually have some real talent and do want to see other people grow and whatnot, they get drowned out, so to speak, because most of their compatriots are like, yo, you know, this is our little exclusive thing. They didn't grind as hard as us. Why do they deserve to be here? That's why, for example, one of these guys is allegedly trying to develop a bot. Now, keep in mind when I say this, Greek God was the one who described what this thing does. And he isn't exactly the sharpest knife in the fucking drawer. So keep that in mind. Greek God said that there's another content creator on Twitch that's trying to develop a program that if you get banned from a big streamer, you'll get banned from every other big streamer that person's associated with. Now, the person who's actually developing the program says that's not exactly how that works. It's a bit more complicated, and it's not as authoritarian as that. But that right there just makes me even more nervous because that means whatever Greek God said it was, what this dude is trying to develop it in is probably worse. And it's probably going to come back and bite them in the ass later. If I had to guess. But we'll see. But now we're getting to the point where you have streamers on Twitch trying to literally troll shield themselves. This isn't a program that Twitch is developing, ladies and gentlemen. This is somebody on Twitch who's trying to develop this and have Twitch implement it. Which that right there just opens that shit up eventually. It's going to end up opening that shit up to all types of different abuses. And the way it's described, because I haven't seen the whole video on it and I haven't read the transcripts where it describes it. If this is put in the hands of the mods, not the streamer, but the mods, unless the streamer has a kill switch, then the mods are going to run rampant. Because you guys already see how mods act up over there on Twitch now. Now you're going to give them an automatic fuck you, not only to the channel that you're on, but to any other channel associated, or any other big channels that are associated with that streamer? What the fuck is that about? And so, going back to the previous argument about race and making jokes and all that silly shit, excuse me, and how times have changed and how we take ourselves too seriously, now Twitch is starting to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Now Twitch is starting to get into this. And if that shit trickles down to someone like Darksydephil, his mods are going to fuck things up for a whole lot of people. Because what if, for example, like I said, I don't know enough about the program yet, so I'm not going to speak on it crazy. Okay, but so we're doing hypothetical pignosis, our favorite game. What if? What if someone like Darksydephil, who is in a particular directory that night, decides to ban a bunch of people? Well, if he's banned from, let's say, the Call of Duty directory, let's say he's playing Call of Duty that night. Let's reword that. He's playing Call of Duty that night. He bans like 5 people. Let's say this program has been initiated at that time, and all these people get banned. What happened? Are they going to be banned from every big streamer that was playing Call of Duty that night just because they were in the same directory as Phil? And not just Phil, what if the vice versa? What if there's somebody else that's wilding the fuck out on somebody else's stream in the Call of Duty directory, and now they're banned from not only his stream, but now they're banned from Phil's and everybody else's? The drop-off on viewership could get silly if this program isn't implemented right, or if it's not written the way it's intended. This is what we're starting to get into. And if Twitch decided to implement some shit like that, then who's to say YouTube wouldn't do that further down the line? Or Mixer, or any other platform that does that. The censorship, the way censorship is going, because we've taken ourselves way too goddamn seriously on shit that doesn't even affect race, really, is getting, or to protect our opinions or our self-entitlement or our self-importance, which is really what I think it comes down to, is getting to the point now where you can be fucked just by, you can be screwed over by just some of the people that you follow on social media. Let me give you one more example. Let's keep moving on with this. Sorry, I don't mean to get political or anything like that, because that's not actually my style. Keep that shit to myself. But there is a, who was it that I was watching? Was it Optimus, or it was Optimus, or it was one of the gaming channels that I like to watch and whatnot for gaming news and shit. And this guy was saying that there was a Kotaku writer who just recently resigned from Kotaku because he was getting tired of the bullshit or whatever. And this guy has an interesting feature on Twitter that I didn't even know existed. But he has this feature on Twitter where if he blocks you, this writer, not the YouTuber that I'm talking about, the writer, the YouTuber I'm talking about just reported on this, that if this writer blocks you, he has a special function or feature or whatever on his Twitter account that he can block. If he blocks you, sorry, I know I've repeated that. If he blocks you, he can block everybody else who follows you, basically. So it's not just so let's reword this, or let's say this. Let's say I reach out to Jim Sterling and I comment on his wrestling because he's been putting his wrestling clips more and more into his content. I don't mind it, but I know a lot of people don't like it. Let's say, for example, I took a slight jab and Jim's in a bad mood and he decides to block me. Well, anybody who is following me, if he has this feature on his account, anybody who is following me is automatically blocked from Jim Sterling too. The fuck is that? Now, I'm not saying Jim Sterling has that. I'm just throwing, he was my example. So, you know, like I said, just keep that in mind. This is all hypothetical prognosis. But why the fuck does Twitch have something like that? And who has access to that? That's kind of wild. That this is what it's come down to. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy. And yet again, no one has the right to take away someone's free speech. But you can be criticized on what you say, though. So, yet again, if Phil wants to say the N-word, then let him. But I'm going to call him a racist, though, too. And I'm going to rag his ass for that shit. But I'm not taking away his right to free speech. He can still say what the fuck he want. He's gonna have to live on that, though. You know, he's gonna have to live with the consequences. And I feel like that's what we've really come down to. Nobody wants to live with the consequences anymore. Everybody wants to say whatever wild shit they want to say, and they can, but no one wants to live with the consequences. And that's what the problem kind of comes down to. What happened to accountability? Why is it that we're so afraid of that? You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to come about your head and say shit knowing that you're purposely trying to offend somebody, or you think you're going to try to hurt them, or whatever the case may be. What's the problem? So back to this troll shit would be awesome one. If he's trolling, he's trolling. He opened himself up for shit like this. So if you really can't handle it, then block him and move on. But you're going to call the dude a sociopath. You're basically pig whistling or pig snorting to have people come off and attack him. two wrongs don't make a right. And what Phil is doing with this video is he's literally doing a call to arms. He wants retaliation. And that is one of the fundamental problems for a weak person, is that they want to retaliate for every little thing that's happened to him. Susie Lou did it. Monday Matt did it. Andy Worski, when he was wilding out, did that shit. There's a lot of people who do that crap. And that's why there's so many issues online, for example. Alinity did it. Pokimane is known for doing it behind the scenes. This is the shit that you're dealing with. All because you have an opinion, and this idiot and people like this idiot right here want that opinion to be censored, and then when you decide to go balls deep, then all of a sudden, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Do people take trolling too far? Or go way out of hand with the shit? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you've gotten to the point now where you assume the smallest bit of criticism is trolling, you have a major fucking problem. Maybe you need to step away from the goddamn computer for a while. And everybody has dealt with trolling in some way, shape, or form. Everybody deals with criticism. You're always going to deal with criticism. That's just something you can't escape. But for whatever reason, these people get online and think they're above it because of a sub count or how many followers you have. That means jack shit. Just like the 40,000 this idiot spent on a virtual fucking mobile game. That shit don't mean nothing at the end of the day. There's no validation for any of that. Let's continue though.
So apparently, what he did, if you can believe it, way back when, earlier this year, he posted up fan art on my forums. It might have been more than one piece, by the way, but he posted up fan art on my forums in this thread that legally gives me the rights to use it because of that statement, but he posted up the fan art first on his Twitter account.
Where's your legal notice then? If you're going to go to, if that post right there, which means jack shit, by the way, if that right there is the legal notification, where is the actual legal documentation to go with it? Just because you say it don't make it law. Just like I say, just like if I say that, you know what I'm saying, I was balls deep in Catherine last night, don't make it true. It makes it funny, but it don't make it true. So you putting some half-ass attempt on your fucking shitty ass forum don't make it law. And this is what idiots like him don't understand. And he's not unique. He's not the only person who thinks like this. I've heard people say, for example, I'm not on Discord as much as most people, but I've heard people say this, that when you enter into their Discords, not in the detractor community, I'm talking about some other shit. Like, here, I'll give you an example. There is somebody who I like to have arguments with as it pertains to Dragon Ball Super, what they did right and what they did wrong, and Vegeta mainly. Because this person likes shitting on Vegeta because they know it triggers me. Well, not triggers, but they know I'm going to argue them on the point because I'm a Vegeta fan. Okay? Now, granted, it's all in good fun, but our arguments keep us sharp, though. It definitely keeps me sharp. So I very much appreciate it. But we were in, I can't remember who the Discord belongs to. The Discord got taken down for whatever reason, so it doesn't even matter now. But we were in there, and they started talking about the whole Vic Mignogna situation. I'm not going to get into all that. You guys don't want to hear that shit. Go to Nick Rekieta, go to Hiro Hiei, go to Yellow Flash, go to that Umbrella guy. You can go to them and you can get all that. But anyway, they were in there talking about Nick Rekieta and whatnot, and they were saying how, and they had a discussion about the other voice actors who were in there, or well, not in there, but they were talking about the voice actors who didn't come to Vic's defense, and so on and so forth, and what did they have to lose? And I had made the point, and I believe it to this day, that those voice actors who didn't speak up on Vic's behalf were going to be next. They were going to be next, because if they could have gotten Vic up and out of there the way they wanted, then I would say most male actors, voice actors, were going to be next. Just like how you see on Cartoon Network, for example, with some of the cartoons on there and shit, they've almost expunged the majority of male voice actors. Not all of them, but most of them. Most of those shows are just all female voice actors. Well, I thought they were saying that they wanted all this equality and whatnot, and then you guys purposely pushed out all the male voice actors. And then you hear about all these different sexapades that they're having, and all the STDs that are being passed around and shit, and most of the women there knowing that they have it and still don't tell nobody, and still spreading it around. What the fuck is that about? Is that supposed to be inclusion? Anyway, I had said that, and I was surprised that people agreed with me on it, or as many people did, but I was like, as a voice actor, if you know you had never heard any of these situations with Vic and whatnot, if you never heard him being accused of any of these things, why would you co-sign on to something that you know isn't true? And by proxy, if shit had gone left and Vic had won his initial case, then all those voice actors who signed on and said, oh yeah, we heard it, now all of you guys would have basically have perjured yourselves if you had gone, if you guys were called into court, and then you'd been even more fucked. So you not saying something is already kind of shitty, but then you co-signing on something that you know that was a lie is even worse. And then what makes it even worse than that, not even worse than that, but then what ends up fucking those voice actors over later on is that the people who know that you lied just so you could stay in favor, those are going to be the very people that are going to push you out later on. Because if you'll lie to save your ass and to co-sign and be included into this little clique right here, you'll do it again against them later on down the line. And they all realize that. Anyway, that was one small part into a much larger conversation that got completely out of fucking hand and shit. I wasn't there for all that, all the extra nonsense that came later. But that went completely out of hand, went completely fucking left. People started attacking each other, and it was wild. It was wild. This was supposed to be just a general discussion about what we thought about the situation with Vic and how it was going to affect the voice actor community as a whole moving forward. Not into all the extra shit that I heard that it eventually turned into. It wasn't supposed to be that. It wasn't supposed to be that. And yet again, for whatever reason, we have the worst time taking criticism now. And I understand taking criticism to your face is not going to feel very good. But online is whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to put your opinion out there, you should expect people to either agree with it or chop it down. And the people who chop it down, you should listen to that, because you should hear what their points are on it. It'll help you build a better argument later. And even if it's just outright trolling or hating, you don't have to look at it. Just move the fuck on. You can do that shit without blocking it or doing all this extra. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Oh, shit.
So it shows that earlier in May, he posted this up on his Twitter account. Then the next day or two, it was posted on my forums in that thread. Therefore, it shows a time precedent that he owned the artwork before it was posted on the forums, and therefore he owns legal copyright. Wrong, because the artwork in question is of me, taken from my video. I own the copyright on it, not him. But he doesn't understand copyright law. He just thinks he could do whatever he wants because he's a sociopath.
But you don't understand copyright law either, idiot. Like, for example, that nice little gimmick that we got in 2019 about, oh, I own the license to this game, and that gives me the right to play it and make a profit. You guys remember that nonsense? I remember that nonsense too. And what preceded that was, oh, this is the sorry, I get a chuckle just thinking about it. I paid $60 to use their work as an ingredient to make my work of art. You guys remember that? That's some really old DSP lore. That's back in when he was in Connecticut. So that's early 2010s when he was passing off that dumb shit. When he was getting flagged or copyright striked for playing games either early or because the game publisher didn't want videos out on that game. Yet again, we have another individual here who doesn't understand copyrighting himself. He has no fucking clue. You think he thinks his face is legally copyrighted. Look, I want you guys to look at your screen right now. If you guys are doing other things in the background, because I know a lot of people kind of are in transit or they're doing other shit when they're watching my videos. If you look at his face right now, do you think that's worth having copyright on? Really? Really? No. No. Not at all.
Sociopath, okay? So, I'll even show you, this is the post, if I remember correctly. That's not it, hold on. This is the post that was made in May of the artwork. Now, obviously, admittedly, look at the name, the sentence in there. It's a trollish sentence. It doesn't even seem to make much sense, but I liked the piece of artwork that was posted. And it's in the thread, so I have permission to use it. Unfortunately,
because it was free. Free!
As you can see, number one, I can't show you the art in this video, because if I showed you the art in this video, he'd probably claim this video too. Number two, he deleted the link. You can see there's a link.
Actually, I'm just now kind of catching that. As many times as I've watched the Tevin video on this, you would have thought I had thought about this before. He said claiming the video. I thought we were talking about the video being striked. There's a difference between claiming a video and striking the video. Claiming the video is when Be Awesome One actually gets a piece of the revenue from that video. Striking it is him taking that shit down. Just throwing that out there. That might be just a slip of the tongue on his part.
Link to it. That link used to exist, but he deleted the link, so I can't show you the artwork anyway to show you that the forum's linked to the art because he deleted it wisely. Oh, I'll delete it and then I'll do the copyright.
Actually, that reminds me of a. Sorry, I know I'm really reference heavy right now and whatnot. I apologize, but that kind of. But this is kind of how I do. This when he said the whole thing about that the claim being put on his video. That reminds me of the Grade A Under A and Tyrone Magnus situation. Do any of you guys remember that? Okay, so quick reference. It's not gonna be quick, but I think this was back in either 2016 or 2017. Tyrone Magnus, as you guys know, is someone who reacts to videos, and Grade A Under A was he basically, I guess you could say he was like satirical comedy, and he was also he's part. I think it's fair to say he was part of the commentator community in a lot of ways. And he used to have like his drawings, and he would talk about different topics, whether on YouTube or publicly or whatever the case may be. And Tyrone Magnus reacted to one of his videos, and I don't remember what the situation was, but there was something about it that Grade A Under A didn't like. I don't remember what it was about the reaction. I don't know if he thought it was an actual fair reaction. I don't know what it was. But I think Grade A Under A decided to put a claim on the video, right? So he would get a portion of the profit. And I think, damn, it's so long ago. I think Tyrone Magnus either took the video down. He took the video down and then re-uploaded it again, so basically Grade A Under A would have to put another claim in, or I don't know. There was something about that whole situation, and those guys were beefing for a while. Tyrone got caught up in a bunch of lies, which was completely unfucking necessary, but he did it, so it is what it is. He was a fucking idiot, and everything basically fell apart, and then it all stopped, or they let it all go after that. Same type of concept in a lot of ways. Is Phil trying to say that Be Awesome One had put a financial claim, like a third-party claim, on his videos that had his fan art, or is he trying to strike the shit down? Now, granted, obviously, I'm being an asshole about this, but like I said, it kind of reminded me of the Grade A Under A Tyrone Magnus situation. For any of you guys who may have followed that out around that time. Which actually, one more thing, when I think about that, Grade A Under A eventually did address this later on down the line, but Grade A was actually getting fucked heavily on Facebook because when they were sharing his videos, because like he had way more shares and views off Facebook than he did on YouTube. Now, I always thought if your video was embedded onto another channel, that you would get the views from it. I guess he thought that too. But I guess on Facebook it doesn't work that way, or it didn't. I don't know about now. I don't use Facebook. But I guess they don't. So he was getting tens of millions of views on his videos on Facebook, which is, you got to think he was probably getting the best ad money at the time, because he was really up there in the echelon. And so you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars that Grade A was missing out on. More than that, if you accumulate all his videos together, he was losing stupid money because of Facebook. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why he went after Tyrone. But it's a thing. Like I said, some of those early YouTube beefs, you know, they kind of were all flashes in the pan. But it's something to refer back to later, though. If you guys get a chance, you should go ahead and look it up. Like I said, I don't have all the details because it's been so long since I've seen it. But I thought it was an interesting talking point. Wild shit, man. Really crazy shit.
Claim. So he even tried to cover his tracks, okay? So this is him posting it up in May. So I don't know what happened. So in particular, the sociopath decides that today he's going to use this to...
And then he's just going to outright keep calling him a sociopath. Jesus Christ. And someone who, excuse me, has alluded to himself, meaning Phil, has alluded to himself having struggles with mental issues, has the nerve to call somebody else a fucking sociopath. Okay. And what makes that even funnier is Phil's a sociopath himself. But let's continue.
Trying to get a copyright strike against my account, and YouTube is so stupid that it works. Now let me explain something about YouTube's copyright notification system. It's a piece of shit. It's complete.
And he should know that because he's abused it himself. But let's continue.
Automated. It's all robots. There's no actual, like, human decision.
That's not true at all either. We found that out in later years, but that's not completely true. And Phil knows that.
Making in the process. You submit either a video or a picture or a song. The YouTube computers use their computers to scan your work and verify that it existed before whatever work you're claiming stole it. Then it scans the work that you claim stole it. If it finds a match, copyright strike. That's it. There's no actual legal review of the content whatsoever. It's literally, with no kind of actual frame of reference, does it match? Yes, copyright strike. It's completely...
That's why they allow you to dispute it, though. Don't get me wrong, the system's not perfect. He's right. The system's shit, even though he has abused the system itself. But semantics. But the system is shit, but they do let you dispute it.
Fuck. It makes no fucking sense. It's shoot first, ask questions later. It's the worst copyright match system on the fucking internet. But YouTube uses it, and everyone's subject to it. In general, no one has these kind of problems because people aren't...
not everybody. There's been plenty of people who, as I've pointed out earlier, who have dodged bullets for whatever goddamn reason when it comes to that striking system. So, like I said, not everybody deals with strikes the same as others.
Sociopaths who are after them because they stream video games for a living like I do. Unfortunately, I have attracted the full-time attention of some of the most just fucking degraded people that they exist on the planet, apparently. So
funny enough, some of those same people came out of his own fucking fan base or out of his audience. Isn't that ironic?
Anyway, YouTube saying, okay, this existed on his Twitter on this day. This existed on YouTube on this day. It was on Twitter first. Therefore, copyright strike granted. Matched. So that video gets taken down. My channel loses its streaming capabilities. And I can't stream on DSPGaming anymore. Okay? Now, what did I do? Immediately when I ended the stream, I realized this...
Yet again, poor wording. Poor wording. He should have said, I can't stream on DSPGaming right now. You know what I'm saying? By going ahead and closing the sentence off the way he does, he leaves these special individuals who still follow him with the belief that he's never going to be able to stream ever again. And Phil does that on purpose. But let's continue.
Was happening, I knew I had to take immediate action. Just like on Monday, remember I had to take immediate action and delete all these videos and hide all these videos on the King of Hate vlogs.
I had to delete all these videos. I had to hide all these videos. So basically trying to evade the copyright system by basically trying to stash shit away. Which is funny because he ain't sitting there letting Sidella go ahead and have multiple accounts on Twitch knowing that Sidella's ban evading. Which could fuck Phil too, because he's knowingly letting it happen, I should say, because he knows that Sidella under his many fucking different personas has donated to him multiple times, so he knows who exactly it is. He outed him recently on the leaks. By the way, I need to do a video on that.
I had to do the same fucking thing now for DSPGaming. So what did I do? I immediately said, okay, every single stream ever has to be made private. Because if I don't make every single stream ever that's an uncut stream private, anything that has a fan art in it, anyone could claim it. Because YouTube is that fucking stupid. It's an automated robot system. So I spent about 45 minutes taking some 300 plus streams that I've done and archived on YouTube this year and making them private. Then I realized, oh shit, I also have the pre-stream videos that I record and I upload those separately. I had about 600 or so of those on YouTube spanning since early 2014 that I also had to manually hit all of them and make them private. That took over an hour. So about 2 hours of my time today, I had to go through all of my...
Now this is where the discrepancies come into play. So, as I said, King of Hate Vlogs, he admits to deleting those videos, right? And it's very easy to take just off of that small bit that, oh, well, maybe you misheard it. Maybe he didn't delete the pre-streams as well as the actual archive streams on YouTube. But he did. Or at least he said he did. Right now, he's sitting here saying that he actually privated them. But later on down the line, and he's kind of kept that up for a number of years, he says that he deleted them. So why would he sit there and say that I privated all of those videos, right? When later on down the line, he says that he actually deleted them. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And yet again, one of the points of the argument is that because of a bug in the YouTube system, when Phil privated all those videos, he actually lost the views on it, which shouldn't have happened, right? Which shouldn't have happened. Now, no one is debating whether the bug existed or not. It may have, it may not have. Who could say? But the point that I'm trying to kind of get across is that I think he just outright deleted all those videos. I think he outright just deleted all those videos. But see, that becomes a problem because if he legally owned the copyrights to the fan art that showed up in the videos, why would he delete it? And then going back to a previous statement that he just said, that I'm spending all this time either privating these videos or hiding these videos, that I'm spending all this time privating these videos or hiding these videos, it leads me to believe that he just outright deleted it because he knew he was wrong. He knew that he didn't own jack shit. And just because you say it, don't make it true. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I could be completely wrong on this. I could. It's very possible. I don't think so, though. I think the example that he set on King of Hate Vlogs only proves my point. And yet again, this goes back to why didn't he just let Machinima do their job? Yet again, King of Hate Vlogs was protected under Machinima and under a managed partnership. Why are you deleting videos? DSPGaming is protected under Machinima. Why the fuck are you privating videos? Alert Machinima and let them do their damn job. You know what I mean? It don't make a whole lot of sense. Let them handle the strike. It wasn't like Be Awesome One or whoever it was, right? But in this case, it's Be Awesome One. It wasn't like he struck every goddamn video. He struck one video. You saw the copyright claim for it. Let Machinima deal with that. Instead, this idiot went ahead and privated or deleted all these goddamn 300 alleged 300 archive videos, and then God knows how many pre-streams. Like the amount of shit that's missing for the pre-streams for those years is a goddamn shame. Those are the dark ages, if you will. Those are the lost years. Those are the what's the word I look for? The lost scrolls of Galtopia that's gone now. All of that shit are the missing years that would tie a big part of the DSP lore together that we may never get again, unless you just go back to the older channels that covered him at that time. Other than that, those shits are gone. And like I said, I posed the argument that he just deleted all that shit. And that's his fault. But let's go ahead and go off current history. Supposedly, he's privated all those videos. Pre-streams, as well as the archive videos themselves. Or the archive stream videos themselves.
Videos on DSPGaming and make them all private. I just had to. And a lot of people, well, you could just edit it. Or you could, no, you can't. My channel is at risk now. If this channel gets shut down, I have no means to make any money. This person is physically threatening myself, my well-being, Leanna's well-being, everyone's well-being here, because this person is a sociopath. I don't care if they think they have some kind of moral justification for what they're doing. It's fucking illegal. It's a physical threat. And I'm going to say this, all right, because I'm going to show you proof in a minute of who it is that's doing it, and that this...
If that's the case, first, a physical threat. If that's the case, then that means Machinima committed murder when they dropped you then, right? That means you committed suicide when you left Twitch the first time, right? Or you cut off your own arm. That makes no sense. You're not incapable of doing something else. You're not incapable of getting a job. You're not incapable of any of those things. And that shit ain't got not a goddamn... Well, Panda wasn't working at this time, I don't think. Yeah, this was 2015, so she didn't have a job yet. So, yeah, well, since you pointed that out, Phil, you know how I like Panda and her cakes. That's kind of your fault, though. And that's her fault, too, a little bit. Because you put yourselves in a situation where you kind of... You put yourselves in a situation to get fucked. There was no reason why Panda couldn't have gotten a job. There's no reason why, when you guys moved out there, you couldn't have taken Panda out there, teach her how to drive, or get her driving classes, go ahead and get her license, and then she could have found herself a nice little part-time job. There was nothing that was preventing her from doing that. She's not helping you edit videos, right? Which is what I'd made the argument that he should have asked her to do. She isn't doing that, so maybe her getting a part-time job outside of the house would have been a good idea. And doing it, I think, in 2015 would have probably worked out slightly better than her doing it in 2017. Well, end of 2016, into 2017. Something like that. I can't remember how long. I can't remember exactly when Panda got her job. So it is what it is. So maybe that should have been a thing. You went ahead and put yourself in the situation to where all of the finances were self-reliant on this one site, and everything that you guys have is hinged on YouTube. No one told you to do that but yourself. You two, forget it, YouTube, sorry. I know, it was a bad joke. Both of you guys put yourself into that situation. Nobody else. So if you and Panda's livelihood is threatened by this, it's because you guys allowed your livelihood to be threatened like that. That's what it comes down to. That's why when he made that petty-ass excuse when Machinima finally dropped him, oh, I had to diversify, and they said, you didn't diversify shit. You only went back to Twitch because you needed the money. And, well, because you heard there was more ways for you to make money. And you had already fucked people basically on Patreon for the most part, and you had really no choice. You had no choice but to go back to Twitch. You weren't trying to diversifying is an option. It's something that, okay, I think this is the best move for me moving forward. It's a financial choice. It's a financial decision to better your position moving forward. You didn't do that. Your baby backs were on the fucking grill, and you grasped for whatever it was you could get your hands on. And that's what Twitch was. That's the reality. That's the truth. So there's a difference.
Was a person who set me up. I have definitive fucking proof of it. All right.
How they set you up when supposedly you hold legal precedence on your website and on that thread to use the fan art. I'm surprised that he's not throwing that out there more often. Why isn't it that you didn't tell Machinima that? Why aren't you telling YouTube, hey, he posted it under this thread that gives me legal precedence to do it? They're probably going to sit there and be like, okay, well, where's your legal documentation that kind of cements that? What do you mean? Well, you're saying that this thread gives you basically legal rights to the fan art. Do you have some type of documentation that would back that up? Oh, it's on my forum. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Do you have anything else? Because I don't think that argument would stand up in court, to be honest. Which goes back to what I was saying earlier about Discord. Like, just because people send you shit on Discord without their permission, I don't think you can just run around willy-nilly and use that shit and profit from it. unless they made it with the express written consent to do so, and that's not exactly what your forum protects. It's not written consent. It's not like each person who posts on his forum, right? Okay, Phil, here's all this fan art here, and this is me legally waiving any rights to this fan art because I'm giving it to you. In turn, giving you, not power of attorney, but giving you legal precedence to use this for profit. Is that written under each and every fucking post on his forum? Even if it was, it wouldn't matter. But is it written there, though? No. Hey, you guys can post up fan art here. And so they did. And for all you know, Phil could have easily have changed the wording on that post given the situation that's going on now. All hypothetical, of course.
It's one thing, earlier this year, I was DDoS attacked and swatted. And there's a group of people on the internet that call themselves whatever, and they're my detractors, right? And they circle jerk each other constantly.
There's a group of people out there that call themselves whatever. And they're my detractors. You can't say their name? We could go ahead and say it's Tevin's fault all day, but we never heard, oh, it's Fred's fault. Oh, it's SOK's fault. It was just this group of people out there in the wings that shit on him. Okay. All right, Phil.
On Twitter and on their own social media, they have their own streaming groups, they have their own fucking YouTube channels, and all they do is steal my content illegally, make funny montage, make fun of me, and say nasty stuff about me, and I can let it all go. And even when I was DDoS attacked and
wait. So when the Suns were doing it, you let it go. But when Tevin was doing it, you made a very active attempt to go ahead and try to get him up and out of there. Now, don't get me wrong. If I remember correctly, the Suns of Kojima had their problems with shit too. Like the SOK had their issues with all kinds of different stuff and whatnot on different platforms and so on and so forth. But I mean, he's telling you right here that he's basically giving them a pass. But Tevin doesn't get that pass. LSB is, as far as I know, is going through some bullshit or was going through some bullshit with his YouTube channel. Where was his pass given? Where was Snort Brunel's passes given when Snort Brunel was getting shit fucking videos taken down and getting copyright strikes?
I tried to make a point in my reaction to those videos. I said, listen, the reason why those things happened earlier this year is because of these people, these sociopaths, who for whatever reason have nothing better to do with their lives than attack me. And this is literally full-time what they do. They follow every tweet I do, every move I make, and they have to comment something nasty about every positive thing that I've possibly done in my life. They have to turn it into a negative. That's what these people do. All right? And
then we found out that the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than that.
Then, in June, when I was DDoS attacked and swatted, their excuse, oh, well, Phil will say that we caused, but we didn't do it. We don't condone DDoS attacking, and we don't condone swatting. Well, what happened today?
Well, there's no, and as far as I know, because I'm not here to defend anything about anything, but I don't think any of the leaks confirmed that those guys had anything to do with the DDoSing or the swatting. I don't think anything has come out on that, at least as far as I know. But then again, the leaks that we have are kind of not really irrelevant, but they're a small part in a much bigger story that we never got. It was basically, okay, Fred takes the hit, and he bounces, and everybody else disbands, and then the leaks all stop. We never got anything else after that. So we don't know what about what. And I don't remember. Is it Che? I think it was Che. I think that's what his name is. My apologies. I don't mean to disrespect the guy or anything. But he sent I think he sent a tweet to Medicare, or he reached out to Medicare, or he said it in a video or something that, hey, there's a whole lot more. This is the tip of the iceberg. You let me know, and I'll send you everything that we have, or everything that we did, or everything we got on. So there's all kinds of fucking gay ops that's still associated to that bullshit, and we never got any of it. So we don't know jack shit for jack shit what was really going on. And we'll never know, more than likely. That's the reality. So, that's something to think about. On the larger scope, we know not. In actuality, we know nothing.
Is just as dangerous as someone putting a gun in my face. Because if I can't pay my bills, if I get my house fucking, foreclosed on because I can't stream or do videos anymore, which is what my job is.
How about you just go out and get a job? How about that? You know what I'm saying? And asked mommy and daddy, who was basically supporting him. Well, they're still supporting him. Who was still bankrolling him financially back in those days to give you more money. And how about maybe you curve your goddamn lifestyle, and maybe Panda go and get a job too. Maybe you guys actually be productive fucking citizens for once. Womp womp.
Just as threatening as someone putting a gun in my face. So you have threatened my life, you've threatened my livelihood, and it's just as fucking bad as being swatted. So now let's talk turkey, because the person who did this to me, all right.
We're getting to the. We're not necessarily at the climax of this delicious candied bacon that we're working on right now, but we're getting close. And I actually have a much more updated and modern day example to give to you about what kind of fuckery this is right here and how it's evolved. It's gonna be great.
Where is he? That's not it. Here it is. Be awesome one. All right. He, of course, will say, I never posted that on Phil's forums. That wasn't me. No, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. I have proof it's him, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But he's saying, no, it wasn't me. You can't pin this on, this isn't some kind of a...
Now, keep in mind, years later, right, when Blood of the Blood Gods happened, 2017, 2018, when we had Blood of the Blood Gods, Phil said, oh, on my forums, all I have is your email address. I don't have anything else. I have no way of identifying you. I don't know who the fuck you are. None of that. Don't have a clue. Remember what he says on Twitch now. Oh, when you donate to me, I don't know who you are. You can donate to me anonymously. I don't know who you are. I have no clue who you are. Keep that in mind.
From his detractor groups. This is a piece of artwork I found I made in May, and Phil's been using this to make money for months, so I'm just gonna claim my copyright on it. First of all, be awesome one, whoever you fucking are. You don't have legal claim to it because it's my face, it's a rip from my video. Nothing you did, putting a box art of The Witcher pushing my face, made it a transformative work. It's my legal property, I own the copyright on it. You have no copyright claim on it. The only reason that YouTube even put up with your fucking nonsense is because it's an automated system and there's no people who work there basically doing it. It's all robots. So congratulations, you found a way to game the system. You're a sociopath. But now he's claiming right now it wasn't him. It wasn't me that did this on YouTube, on the King of Hate vlogs. It wasn't me, right? It wasn't me. You can't prove it was me. I did submit the copyright claim, but I never put that picture up on the King of Hate website. Oh yeah? Well, let me show you something. That's the copyright claim from Be Awesome One. That is the original post. Notice the name, Stevie Ray. Guess what? This guy is such a genius that he's posted on my website under the same IP multiple times. In fact, all of these accounts that you see on the right-hand side of your screen right now are the same person. Oh, gee, does that top account look a little familiar? Be Awesome One. And yeah, he's also done all these other accounts over the past year, every single one of which was a troll.
How the fuck do you know that, though? How the fuck do you know that? Now, I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This idiot here had his little people behind the scenes go through and do all and go ahead and match all this shit up, allegedly, to one person. But how does he know this, though? How does that become a thing? And how is it that someone has touched your soul to this level that you need to resort to this shit? See how fucking fragile? I thought they had... Jesus Christ. Anyway, how does he know? Oh shit! Yeah, that's a Tevin reference. That's a Tevin reference, just in case you guys didn't know. How do you know?
Account trolling myself and other people on my website. If you need proof he's a sociopath, he created 7 accounts, different accounts to troll people on my website. Now you may say, but that's not definitive proof. Of course it's not. But how about the fact that his fucking Twitter account is the same exact avatar?
Oh, I'm gonna try to quote this word for word like Tevin did, but I'm gonna fuck it all up. That's Stardust, as you guys know. If you guys follow wrestling at all, you know what that is. That's his WWE run. Which is a shame, by the way, too. Like his talent got wasted over there in WWE, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's Stardust. You know what I'm saying? He's a somewhat recognized wrestler at that time. You know, there's a lot of people who actually use his face as their icons and shit or their thumbnails, which is true. and whatnot. So yet again, how do you know? How do you know?
That he's fucking using for this troll account on my website. Oh, by the way, I have your IP, I have your name, and I have your address.
That's what I was waiting for. You guys, now, this is the fucked up part that Phil Burnell had been lying about for years. And when he did this, he didn't realize that. Now, Tevin did when he heard all this shit. Because I remember watching Tevin's stream, or Tevin's video, I should say. I didn't watch the stream, but I wasn't around for that. But watching his video where he was watching this, because I think Tevin still had the rocking chair back in the day. And that's some vintage shit if you guys haven't seen that. And Tevin's like, well, how do you know, though? What's your proof? How do you know? You can't prove it. You can't prove it. And then that's when he come off and said, oh, I got your name, I got your IP, and I got your... Tevin got heated over that shit. And for good reason. Because he's like, one, this is Tevin's reasoning. One, why the fuck would you say that on a YouTube video, bruh? Why the fuck would you say that? Why would you tell somebody, or not tell somebody, why would you tell potentially tens of thousands of people that if you go to my fucking forums, I can find out who you are? Why would you say that? As what, troll shielding? To say, oh, Be Awesome One, I got you? If Be Awesome One went through all this shit right here to make all this happen, and then what allegedly comes out later on with the SOK shit, do you think that was a deterrent? It wasn't. And so you saying this shit right here makes you a fuckboy. Because now it means that you can't be trusted. And that means it's not just Be Awesome One, it's probably everybody on that forum. Regulars or not, he knows exactly who the fuck all you guys are. Now, let's give you guys a more modern day example of this. So, I think I mentioned it earlier about this new thought that's out here that's basically pulling her best Bad Bunny impression with this whole entitlement shit, and you know, if you don't have $5 to give me for a sub, you should be you should be getting a job, or you should be working more and whatnot so you can support the entertainment that you're taking in. This bitch went the extra step. Big ups to Memology 101. Even though I don't think he watches me, so it is what it is. This bitch went to the extra extent that anybody who donates to her, right, through, who sends her a donation, she can look up who you are. Like, she sees exactly who you are, right? Your information and everything, right? Then this bitch goes to Google and does Google background searches on you. It's not a dox because she's not releasing your information, but she's doing background checks on the people who donate to her. Then she cross-references that with like LinkedIn and other places like that to find out exactly what your profession and shit is. This bitch right here is literally gathering blackmail information on people. She has first and last names. She has your employment. She has your age. She knows what state you live in. Why the fuck would a Twitch thought need all that? Oh, maybe because if you're married and you have kids, because she's cross-referencing your shit with Facebook too, you know what I'm saying? And Instagram and all that. Oh, well, maybe, just maybe, she sends you a message saying, hey, I haven't seen you on my streams in a while. Maybe, just maybe, you should make a large donation to me right now. Because if not, you wouldn't want your wife to know that you gave me $400 or $500 over the last couple of weeks, would you? You wouldn't want her to know that. That might not be something that would be a good look, right? So maybe, just maybe, you'll slide, $1,000 to me. Shit like that. Now, I'm not saying she's doing that, but if you're going to go that far with it, I would assume that's because you're going to blackmail people. Phil damn near and Phil beat her by like 5 years. Well, 4 years. 4 years plus. That's what kind of fuckboy shit that's going on with this. And this is some of the things that come about it. So some people would be like, wow, that's really fucked up. But, it is what it is. Be Awesome One. If he put himself out there, then he put himself out there. But, and not even but, that's true. But for some of those pay piggies that are out there now, this is how far this idiot was willing to go back in 2005 or 2015 to try to track people down who disagreed with him, who trolled him, who did whatever. what the fuck do you think he's done on you guys now? And then if you go back to the leaks, and I haven't gone over them, I know. If you go back to the leaks, the mods who were part of those leaks confirmed that Phil doxed Be Awesome One. Or not Be Awesome One, sorry. King Tut. Sorry. It confirmed that Phil had King Tut's information and he spread that shit around. This is how much hatred, this is how heated our piece of spam here was. That he wanted to sit there and get back at Tut because Tut left him. That's how bad he wanted to get back at Tut for leaving him. Run-of-the-mill Twitch thought shit. This is how wild this fucking internet Wild West shit's gonna be. God damn, dude, I got so much videos that I got a link down in the description now. This is the shit that we're talking about. I'm tempted to make a video on that chick too, because I really want you guys to see that. Like, I really want you to see what this chick pulled and whatnot, how she justified giving her money, and then the clips that Memology found later of her admitting that she fucking does Google background checks on people who donate to her. That's what kind of wild fuckboy shit you're dealing with now. Think about that. DSPNEWS?
So, congratulations. You fucked up. You really did. Be Awesome One on Twitter. I have all your fucking personal information. Now, I'm going to say this up front. I'm not going to give it out. I'm not going to.
Now, that's probably a lie, too. I bet you anything, some of those long-time mods, they somewhere on a hard drive or somewhere on an old tower, PC tower or whatnot, they got Be Awesome One's information. I bet dollars to fucking donuts that they got that shit. I guarantee it. Because whoever it was who collected the information who has it, I assume a few of Phil's trusted mods had it. Matter of fact, someone go and ask a fucking Brightside Viking if he's seen Be Awesome One's personal information. Because he was knee deep in that bullshit. So see what he knows. And that's if he knows anything. But, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. So don't no. No. And this is that type. I'm starting to feel certain type of way about this. This was a long ass time ago. That's the type of wild shit that you guys need to think about. You know what I'm saying? That's the wild type of shit that you need to think about. This is how this idiot right here basically tries to lord over, and basically how he keeps people in line through intimidation. Not even good intimidation. Not even really good intimidation. And when people talk about the leaks for Discord, the Discord leaks, the main precedence of it, ladies and gentlemen, was to prove that Phil was the same They Call Me DSP who did the 40,000 with the WWE champions. But I don't give a fuck about that. I believed that when that first came out. I didn't need reaffirmance. It's nice that it's there. It's nice that, you know, they can link it all up. But I didn't care about that. What I gave a fuck about was what those mods know. See, here's the thing. The WWE Champions thing, great stuff. It's a nice thing to go ahead and put videos out, keep people updated and whatnot. James the Lesser. Big ups to James the Lesser. He stayed all over that shit. He's been on it from the beginning. Mr. Huff Stuff on Twitter. He's been following that shit. He has all the screenshots and whatnot. Kiwi Farm keeps up with it. All that shit's great. Don't be wrong, it's great. But I believed everybody and all of them the first time. Having the evidence to back it up is great, but I believed them all the first time. What people need to be concentrating on is what else is going on in that Discord, and what some of those older mods really know. That's what should be important. That's what we should be focusing on. What type of information is being passed around? Who amongst those mods are really passing out what? And who knows what? Because it's funny, the last mod who broke ranks and broke Pignosis, if I remember correctly, the one that went on Kiwi Farms and made a thread and said that people asked them, well, what's going on amongst the mods and so on and so forth, and anything about doxing. I thought that person said he didn't know, or he hadn't heard anything about doxing while he's in there. If that's the case, let's say that person's true. Let's say what that particular mod or former mod said was true. That means Phil Burnell is running the same shit that Sons of Kojima did, and they have and mods are in tiers. So that means not every mod knows what the fuck's going on amongst all the other mods. It could be that, I should say. You know what I'm saying? If everything's being compartmentalized amongst different people, depending on trust levels, then who knows what kind of fuckboy, gay ops, piggy shit that Phil is doing behind the scenes. And none of us know. There could be all kinds of snotty snort ops going on, and none of us really know what's going on. We're focusing on stuff that we already know, for the most part. We're focusing on stuff that we already know. That's cool. Now we got the confirmants. Now let's go ahead and start moving on to the shit that we don't know. Something to throw out there. But big ups to, yet again, big up to James Lester. Go and check out, like I said, check out his channel. He has a nice little timeline for all that stuff. So like I said, you should definitely hit that shit up.
Give it out. This is not a doxing video. I do not condone it. I will never give out someone's personal information or anything.
Except for King Tut. And then who knows who else.
Like that whatsoever. However, understand something. I got you. So you're in trouble. If I hired a lawyer right now, I could sue you. False copyright, defamation. I have evidence of everything. You're lucky.
Isn't this the same shit that he said about Tevin all them years later? Almost. He almost said most of the shit. He said most of it. He didn't say all of it. But this is similar to the shit that he said years later about Tevin. About how he needs to go to jail, and if he had the money, he'd have taken his ass to court and he would have sued. Same shit.
That I am busy. You're lucky that I don't have unlimited funds to go after you. You're lucky because I could if I wanted to.
If you had unlimited funds, idiot, then why the fuck would you need to sue him anyway? Would you really be that petty to throw away potentially tens of thousands of dollars on some rinky-dinky little bullshit like this? Think about what you say when you say it. You really would, if you had unlimited funds, you would let something small like this, of somebody trolling you, you would literally go ahead and try to sue somebody over that. Wow.
You fucked up, all right? And if anything, all that you've accomplished is that you've shown me that going forward, right, with my YouTube career, that I just need to have extra due diligence in everything that I do, that I need to be sure that if I'm going to use something from anyone, that I have to have it in writing, that I have permission, and that it's someone who I kind of personally have a relationship with that I would trust not to fucking do something like this.
And even then, none of that's true. He still gets random fan art out of nowhere. It is what it is. I will say, he did take to fucking heart that whole shit about basically cross-referencing everybody who's close to him and so on and so forth to making sure, you know, he knows them on a personal basis. But even then, that didn't work because when, is it D Gangster or Dr. Gangster or whatever the name is of the most recent mod who put out the leaks and shit, when he picked up and bounced, that didn't stop anything. And the first thing he did was go ahead and release information. So how well do you know him? Does Phil have that guy's personal information? Did Phil dox him? So one of the other mods, like Straight Cash Homie, who apparently is making himself well known amongst that shit, so he can go ahead and put in that work. I thought Anonymous went ahead and stepped away from that whole DSP shit, but apparently he over there in the mix too. So is Anonymous going to go ahead and be the piggy assassin? The Snort Avenger? Who's it going to be? Something to think about.
Right? Because the bottom line is, even if I have it in writing, a contract to use it, if that person still submitted it for YouTube copyright, it would still go through. Because it's an automated system that's a piece of shit. It's not worth a diddly dookie dump. It's completely and utterly fucking
Then if a contract would be useless at the YouTube level, then what the fuck makes you think that your forum post was any more legitimate or had any more protection to it? You didn't think that over, did you? You didn't think that statement out, did you? Womp womp.
So, what's going to happen? You might be saying, well, Phil, what's going to happen now? Here's the deal. All right, here's the deal. Number one, I've already submitted a counter notification. I've already talked to Machinima about it. Machinima already assures me the counter notification absolutely, both on the King of Hate vlogs and on DSPGaming, are going to go through. The copyright...
But that don't matter because you already deleted the videos off King of Hate vlogs and you already have the stuff on DSPGaming privated. So if they reassured you of all this, then why'd you go through all the trouble to hide it or delete it? You see how his story don't make no sense? That's why I'm saying this is the reason why. Sorry, I've been the rabid dog that I am about the fact that he deleted those videos. He deleted those videos. Because he's doing all this nonsense after the fact. If he had already notified Machinima about this whole situation and let Machinima do their goddamn job, there was no reason to hide or delete or private anything on the King of Hate vlogs or DSP Gaming. That's just what I'm trying to get across. It don't make sense.
Notices and strikes against the channels will be removed, and I am going to get my live streaming capabilities back no matter what. Okay, that's number one. So if you're a viewer of my content and you want to see me continue to live stream, don't worry, I'm getting the capability back. The only change that I'm going to have to make moving forward, I can no longer use fan-generated content. And I apologize for that. I love you.
That didn't last very long because, if I remember correctly, this is when he transitioned from having the fan art in those slideshows to him just having the I guess either the the Xbox and or PSN dashboards, and then just some text over it saying the stream will start soon or whatever the case may be. Wasn't a very good alternative. He could have just whipped something together. He could have done something, but instead he decided to do that. And then that's why the flapping that's why that was a thing. So yet again, it's a domino effect of just very bad decisions that just kept piling up one after another. And he was just not smart enough to figure out how to stop it. And so eventually, ladies and gentlemen, it just stopped him. If you can't stop it, you will be stopped. And that's what happened.
Using fan art, I love viewing montages and showing that stuff off. I can't do it anymore. I cannot use fan-generated content because at any time, if YouTube improved their copyright system, then I would say, okay, I'll take the risk. But until YouTube improves their copyright system, I can't take the risk. Because any Joe Schmo who on one day thinks that I said something nasty that they don't agree with, or even is a fan of mine and changes their mind a year later, this will be funny, could submit a copyright claim against me and it will go through regardless if they have a legal leg to stand on or not. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, that's number one. Don't worry, my streams are coming back. Number two, when are my streams coming back? Well, that's up for debate. Machinima says they're talking with YouTube and they're going to try to get both the ban on streaming on the King of Hate vlogs and on DSP Gaming removed as soon as possible, but there's no guarantee. Worst case scenario, it'll be 2 weeks. So worst case scenario, if nothing works out and they can't seem to get it to clear up, it will be 2 weeks from today, so probably either the 2nd or 3rd of September, which is the first week of September when I'll already be playing Metal Gear Solid 5 and Mad Max. My live streaming capabilities should come back at the latest. Hopefully, Machinima's influence with YouTube will help them to push along the process, and I'll be able to actually get my live streaming capabilities back earlier than that, all right? But there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. I don't know if or how, it's going to happen. But I do know it will happen. I just don't know when. Okay? That's the bottom line. The worst case scenario, middle of the first week of September, I'll get all my streaming capabilities back and we'll have no problems. Okay? Number three. Well, Phil, what are you going to do to take precautions against this in the future? Well, I just said I cannot accept fan-generated content anymore. So there will be no more fan art on the forums, which I know is unfortunate.
But yet again, the majority of that wasn't even fan art. It was just troll art. You know what I mean? It was just troll art. You know what I'm saying? But like Tevin had said, he's so goddamn stupid that he'll just accept anything that's given to him. Without any real scrutiny, he'll just accept it. And so, yet again, he puts himself in a position to be a victim. And because he feels so goddamn entitled, he expects people to do stuff for him. You know? And he couldn't even hold to his own word. I don't know how long it was until he ended up going back to using fan art, but eventually that's what ended up happening. And if he has Be Awesome One's information, he knows exactly what art he should be looking for and what he shouldn't be looking for, and what he should be using and not using. Yet again, he did it to himself. And like I said, this is 2015, and what the whole shit that really fucked him over allegedly was what 2000. Let's see here. This is what caused him to delete all the videos and everything. And he took another hit after Project 7. I don't know if that's the Jackie Chan situation when that happened. I'm not sure. Now I think about it. That might have been, that could have been earlier. That could have been actually around this time too. I'm not sure. But he's had, this isn't his first rodeo, or this isn't his only runaround, I should say, when it comes to fan art being struck down. So that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. And I think the two main people he had issues with was, I think one of them was Jackie Chan and the other one was Be Awesome. So it is what it is. But he never really learned. Eventually he ended up going back to it. And the only difference is that any of the people who make his fan art for him now, who have become disillusioned with him and decided to pick him and leave, they just didn't strike him. They just went ahead and they were like, all right, I'm done. I'm out. But he didn't really learn from his lesson. Or sorry, he didn't really learn anything. He just took a break and then kind of squirmed his way back into position. That's what he does.
Because I know people love the fact that I use fan art all the time. If there is fan art that's generated, I'm probably going to have to need, like, in writing, something generated from the person who submits it. Or it'll have to be...
Wait a second, though. Why would you need something submitted to you in writing if your forum, if the post on your forum protects it? He sat there and ranted on, well, I've made this video incredibly longer than what it originally was. But he spent the first part of this video saying that his forum, that post on his forum, I should say, gives him legal precedence to use it. He legally owns the fan art when you submitted it to him. Now he's asking for people to give him shit in writing. Really, bruh? Nah, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so what does that prove, ladies and gentlemen? He didn't just evolve over the span of this video and come to the realization that he was wrong. He knew he was wrong. He knew he was wrong. Which is what it's like when you go through any of these older videos. He has a particular point that he sticks to. Excuse me, that he sticks to. And then as the video goes on, you see it slowly shift into something completely different than what we originally started off with. I guess theoretically, that could be said for any commentary video, to be honest. But at least certainly some of mine, because I go off on the fucking handle for a bunch of silly shit. But at the same time, I try to stick generally to my premise. He completely flip-flopped. He's now completely negating any point or any point that he tried to make or he tried to solidify, saying my forum protects me legally, to now I need legal writing. I need you to submit to me in writing that I can use this. Am I going to go to Super Sloth Pants or Chio 18 or the Sunspot Gallery now for that? Is that what I'm going to do? Is that what I have to do now? Help!
Someone who I trust. There's many people who I trust, who are mods, who are, do all this stuff for me, who support my content, who love the fact that I do this free content for you on a daily basis, who have been submitting stuff, and those people I'll probably trust. I actually had an offer from a graphic designer who said that he would like to do stuff for me for free, and he would even sign a contract or whatever, and I explained...
What? So, okay, so with that statement, that means he's already has people. Well, now either he's probably lying. He's probably lying. But let's go with that implementation anyway. Let's play off of that. Hypothetical pignosis. He literally has people sending him fan art now, and he's telling them, I need you to send me something in writing saying that I legally own that once you pass it to me. Once it exchanges hand to hoof. He's literally asking for that now, and people are agreeing to it. Why? Why? And how many times have you heard him promote the very people who make him the fan art? Does he tell you the name of the person who does it? Does he have a link to their shit down in the description? Does he, I think some of them sign it. Maybe some of them sign it. I know the stuff that he's gotten over the last couple of years, some of it's really good, actually. He's gotten some really, really amazing shit. And I think most of them signed it or gave their signature or whatever, which is what they should do. But you shouldn't have to legally sign over your works to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, that shouldn't work. And if any of them want to put anything like that on merch or something, then just go into business with each other. That's the, well, at least that's what my plans are. You know what I'm saying? We'll just go into business. We'll go into business with each other and whatnot. We'll cross brand. I'm not going to give up all my shit, but like, you know what I'm saying? All the ideas that I have, but that's what my plan's going to be. That's what my plan should be. I think it's fair. You know what I mean? And that is mutually beneficial too, because it's good advertising all around. And that's the kind of the other thing that he's missing about the fan art. He's looking at it as another way of just crowding his space, instead of looking at it as a way of advertising for other people. You know what I'm saying? Or for everybody, really, because everybody's going to initially benefit. Don't get me wrong, I've made my fuck-ups and mistakes as well as most people. You know what I'm saying? But yet again, he's not learning from those mistakes. And look at him now. He's got so much fan art from so many different people that if they really wanted to go after his bacon, they could. And he really couldn't do anything about it, because he has none of the protections anymore. I'm not advocating for any of you guys to do anything, by the way. I'm not, you know, I'm not dog whistling or anything. I'm just saying, if this same situation happened to him now, he'd be proper fucked. Before the Germans get here, he'd be screwed. He'd be screwed. Yikes. Speaking of which, if you guys haven't seen the movie Snatch, great movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting it because I'm a cute pup in a sharp suit. I'm just saying it's a great movie. It's like Guy Ritchie makes some pretty good movies.
To him, thanks for the offer, but really it doesn't matter what you sign. People could still do false copyright strikes on YouTube anyway, and I have no control over it, so I don't know. Moving forward, for this hardcore gaming season, this busy gaming season coming up, I'm not going to be using fan art. I'm not going to be using fan-generated content. Pre-streams are going to be just my dashboard of whatever console, with the stream will be starting shortly. Please stand by like I used to do on on Twitch, and me talking over my dashboard. Those will be pre-streams. Commercial breaks will be right back, superimposed over the game screen.
This idiot couldn't get a solid background, put some text up himself, maybe throw a couple of PNGs in there somewhere or something. He couldn't really do any of that on his own? Just so you have something? But yet again, this man right here, and I use the term man loosely, by the way, this man right here tells you that he has so many ideas. He has so many great plans, and they get overlooked, or no one wants to listen to him. Ladies and gentlemen, alright, so I've been on my wrestling shit a lot lately. And the reason why is because I've been finding the type of videos that I wanted to go over, and because I really want to kind of delve into wrestling history, right? So the territories, stuff like that. Okay? And I know I've been prefacing this for a while, but I really found some of the stuff I wanted to do, and the format I think I want to go with it moving forward. And I mean, fuck it. He's Vince Russo. He's the Vince Russo of fucking the gaming community. He doesn't take it seriously. He don't respect anybody. He only looked at it as a way to make money, and that's exactly what the fuck he did, and he didn't care about who got hurt in the process. Let me give you guys an example, because I've been doing that all day, and hopefully you guys stuck around for some of it. If you didn't, I don't blame you. There are better detractors out there that have content that's way more concise and to the point, to be honest. With Brawl for It All, right? Do any of you guys remember that? If you guys are some like really old heads, you guys remember that, right? Well, they did the whole dark side of wrestling, the thing that Vice does when it goes over wrestling content. They're going into season 2, by the way. I'm actually thinking about going over some of those, by the way, especially the Jimmy Snuka shit. Especially the Jimmy Snuka shit, because there's stuff about that Jimmy Snuka stuff that they left out. Like, for example, how Jimmy Snuka's wife basically sat around and let herself get cheated on all those times, and she got beat up a shitload of times, and woosah. All right, when you go back to, sorry about that that Jimmy Snuka thing bothers me a little bit. Well, not even a little bit, it bothers me a lot, but it is what it is. He's not the first one to beat his wife. Probably won't be the last. But anyway, when you think about Brawl for It All and whatnot, you did this fuck boy Vince Russo did all this shit to get back at one asshole in a locker room full of assholes. You went ahead and did it. You literally shortened people's careers to get back at one asshole. For real? Like, and the reason why is because he looked at wrestling as a fucking joke anyway. He looked at it as a cash grab. He looked at it as a way to try to get his ass in Hollywood so he can make shitty movies and shit. So he didn't care. He didn't care about... It's not about wrestling, whether it's real or fake. It's about the business and the people that are in it. And there's already... And when you go back into the territory shit, there's a lot of fucking cutthroats in the territory days and shit. There was like everybody wants to kind of focus on Vince coming in and screwing shit up. I mean, not even screwing shit up, but basically killing everybody off. But Vince at least had a general understanding of how some of these guys were running the territory anyway, and there was all kinds of fucked up shit that was going on back in the territory days. A whole lot of fucked up shit that was going on. Now, to various degrees, by the way, but there's a lot of just really shifty ass stuff going on, right? That doesn't justify what Vince did. It damn sure, if you look at how the wrestling landscape looks at now, we're poorer for it. We're poorer for it. But was it worth doing all that to get back at one guy? And then the guy that no one expected to win, but I think honestly the guy that didn't want to win. The guy who they didn't want to win end up getting nothing at the end of the day. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like I said, I'll save that for later, dude. It's just he's and this is someone, and I mean Phil, he was someone who has modeled himself after wrestling in a lot of ways, right? So this fuckboy, he very much is Vince Russo. Everything he touches turns to shit. And what does Vince Russo say now? If you guys have ever listened to his podcast, or you guys have the goal to sit there and try to listen to that shit, I don't give a shit about wrestling anymore. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I don't know why everybody hates me. I don't know why Jim Cornette wants to see me dead. I don't get it. It's not that serious. It's not that important. Everybody made their money. He don't see the people. He don't see what went into that. He didn't see what sacrifices that were made to fucking build it, to get it to that point where he could exploit it. He just wanted to exploit it. And that's the problem. Oh boy. Sorry. Phil's Vince Russo. That's the point of all that.
I apologize. That's all I can do. I can't do it anymore. I can't use this fan art. It's too much of a risk. I cannot risk my business because YouTube's copyright system is a piece of garbage and they don't actually care about anyone who uploads anything to the website. They only care about protecting themselves. Because the bottom line is this. The only reason that system exists on YouTube is so legally no one can take YouTube to court and say, well, YouTube doesn't protect my copyright. They could say, well, sure we do. When you submitted it, we submitted it too, didn't we? But, you know, you didn't give proof that you were submitting a lawsuit against anyone. Therefore, we had to take the claim away. It's the same thing here. They'll just claim, oh, well, we have something in place. I don't think it's anywhere sufficient. They're not doing due diligence. They're not supporting anyone who uploads any content to YouTube.
Also, as it pertains to Susie Lou, it's like the third or fourth time I mentioned her in this video. With Susie Lou, she actually has a unique positioning in the fact that she actually has someone at YouTube who is like on 24-hour, like her beck and call. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. This is in the John Swan video, by the way, too. But, or at least it's mentioned in the John Swan video, that she was in a situation during the holiday break. This had to have been either last year, either 2019 or in 2018. Must have been 2019, I want to... No, it must have been 2018. Sorry. Either way, she was on the holiday break, and her channel went down. Because she got all these copyright strikes from Tokyo TV, I think it was. Because she was doing all the live reactions to their shit, and it wasn't fair use. And basically, her channel went down. And she called her contact, right? And this motherfucker here, who was on... holiday break. He was on holiday break. He had at least according to her. Not the holiday break thing, I believe that. I mean, according to her, him and a couple other people had to go into the office to fix her shit, and they did fix it. Ain't that so? This dude is on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Or on holiday, or whatever the case may be. And he has to sit there and drop his shit and you know, and put shit to the side for his family so he can go out there and fix this bitch's shit that he ain't fucking? How does that work? But I thought Phil said that YouTube don't do jack shit. No, there's different tiers to the shit that they do. And you're just not relevant. That's why you always needed an MCN. And that's why he was always scared to death of just trying to go through YouTube. Because he knew he wasn't going to be afforded the type of protection and privileges that other people got. That's why. In some ways.
Absolute joke. The system needs to be changed, but YouTube doesn't give a fuck about the common uploader. That's the bottom line. They don't, and they never have. They care about their big money makers at the top. They don't care about the common person. They never did. So it's a shame. It really is a shame that that's the situation we're in, that they have a completely automated piece of shit system where people like you and me are subject to this every single day, right? So the bottom line is this. I'm going to
the same system that he has abused, by the way.
End it saying this. Don't panic. Don't worry. Right now I can't live stream. And I won't be able to live stream at the worst case for a couple of weeks. I'll still be daily playing the games that I want to play. I'll still be uploading all the videos to YouTube. So unfortunately, for those of you who love to catch the live streams, I apologize. We know who to blame. The blame is black and white. Who did this, right? Sociopaths. Sociopaths who want to make me look like some kind of an internet villain, right? Who have literally nothing better to do, who have made it their actual positive existence in life to associate with other sociopaths. So you've got an actual network of sociopaths on the internet whose only subject is me. They need to attack me. They need to make everything I do look bad. They've put these little traps in place to try to get me with copyrights at certain times. It's insanity. Yes, it is insanity. And in the past, people have said, Phil, you shouldn't say people are mentally ill. What do you call this? Exactly.
It's that fuckboy shit right here is the reason why I have no qualms on why his life turned out the way he did. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, I don't hate Phil. I hate what Phil does. And when he made that statement, he deserved everything he got and some. He deserved everything he got and some. And why? Because this fuckboy went ahead a couple years later and tried to say every bad behavior I ever did, every fucking thing I ever said, everything that, you know, that what would be considered inappropriate was because of my depression. Because he wasn't in the right headspace. Because he wasn't in the right frame of mind. You don't get to bash something and then use it as your shield later. You don't get to do that. No one does.
What do you call this? Someone who I've never met, who I've never personally spoken to, who I've never done anything to hurt, who I don't even know who the fuck the person is, set booby traps over the course of the year, so now at the end of the year they could say, gotcha, and now you can't stream anymore, and I hope your channel gets shut down, Like, what do you call that? That's not the actions of a rational human. A rational human goes out and does positive things with their life. They don't troll streams.
What did you do positive with your life? You tried to leech and fuck over and try to bully in the FGC. Got toe up from the motherfucking floor up for that shit. Should have gotten he should have gotten his shit pushed then though. You literally should have gotten your shit pushed then. There was dudes who did less and got fucking knocked the fuck out for it. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it. I'm not saying they didn't even know they had it coming. I'm saying is there are people in there who did less and got and took the blunt. He didn't. He didn't. You were able to walk away from the FGC. Not everybody can say that. And speaking of which, there's the situation with the low tier god going on. I'm probably gonna make a video. I'm probably gonna make a video on that. I'm pretty sure I said that in the beginning of this, but I'm definitely gonna probably end up doing a video on that one, just because it's you can't defend what he said, so I'm not gonna try to. It is what it is. He's his own man. He can stand on his own too. I'll say this. Why the fuck did it take this long? That's all I'm going to say. If you guys don't actually know what I mean, if Ghostly Wins shows up in the comment section, or if you know who Ghostly Wins is on Twitter, right? Good friend of mine. I need to just go ahead and ask if he'll just want to join. Go ahead and join GTG Network and Productions, because he's always giving us information. So I'm just going to ask him. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. But You want the scoop on Low Tier God? Go to Ghostly Wins. He has everything. And I mean everything. Like, everything. He can tell you just about anything that you want. There's another guy, too. He shows up in the comment section sometimes, Anonymous. He also follows the Low Tier God shit. You can talk to him. You know what I mean? If you want to know about the shenanigans and shit that Low Tier God has had and all the beefs that he's had with people and all the silly shit he ain't said, he should have been kicked out. You're going to kick... Here's the point that I want to make. Why did it take them so long to do it? And does it really mean anything for somebody who's not even in the FGC anymore anyway? Banning him from Evo this year is kind of irrelevant because who knows if there's even going to be an Evo this year. And I think they said he's banned from CEO. Maybe all TOs are going to ban him from all events for the foreseeable future. Who knows? Does it really matter? He hasn't been on a tournament run since 2018 anyway. I think that was the last year he actually made a run, and he lost his girlfriend and all her thickness over that shit. So does it really matter at this point? He didn't do anything in 2019. He hasn't done anything in 2020. Given the current situation, for the foreseeable of the year, he's not going to. So why wait? Why'd they wait till now after all the silly shit he's done to get him for this? I don't know. And then is it Cyril Blast, which is the individual who he had all that scuff with? Cyril's known for dropping the N-bomb on the streams and shit. No one said anything to them about it. So can we address that too? I'm not saying one washes the other. I'm just saying, can we get some clarification on what the situation is with that too? And at the time that I'm recording this and whatnot, I didn't see Ernesto Lopez or Button Check. I haven't seen his most recent video, but something about there's a ban coming for Cyril Blast as well. So that's the thing. Like I said, I'll try to get all my stuff together for that, and we'll try to concise that for a video for the main channel. But interesting stuff. My thing is, why'd they wait so long? Like, why'd they wait so long? There were so many things that Low Tier God has done that he should have caught this a while ago. You know what I'm saying? If they feel the need to bring it to where it is, they should have done that shit a while ago. You know what I mean? How many times have any of you guys been to a Low Tier God's fucking stream and see him just rail off on other black people, or with the questionable homosexual jokes and all that shit, or going after other players for a variety of reasons, like that whole shit with Broly Legs? I was really shocked that nothing happened to him during the Broly Legs situation. I'm really shocked by that. Then again, I'm even more shocked that Broly Legs was upset that he couldn't get sponsorship. I don't know if he has sponsorship now, but that he wasn't getting sponsorship. And then I don't know if I could say he took shots at Sherry and whatnot or not, but I think Sherry had just been signed to a new sponsorship deal, or with a new sponsorship team, and he was kind of salty about that. And if you know anything about Sherry, she hadn't been around, allegedly. So, you know, I'll save all that for the video. I'll save all that for the video. Holy shit. There's so much to unwrap there.
7, 8 clone accounts on forums. Put booby traps in place for someone they've never fucking met. That's fucked in the head. That's the definition of it. Go get me any fucking psychiatrist or doctor and tell me if they analyze this situation, they won't tell you that the people who are doing this shit are fucked in the head. And you know...
Now, with that being said, I want you to think about it. I have your name, I have your IP, I have your address, but I'm not going to give it out. I don't dox. I don't do that here. Yet, he's literally giving you all the reasons on why this person deserves retaliation. He's literally trying to convince the audience on some massive pignosis on why he would be valid, and in a lot of ways why he should be valid to take some type of course of action against this individual or individuals because of what they've done to him. So not only is he going to call him mentally ill, but he in turn, went ahead and had other people as well as himself go ahead and try to connect the dots to find out who exactly this person is, then get all of their information, and then he want to go around and tell them that they're mentally ill and they don't have shit better to do with his time, or with their time, I should say. And yet he's supposed to be sitting here playing video games and having a good time. At the end of the day, this is what all this shit's supposed to be about. All of it. This was all supposed to be just playing video games and having a good time. He makes it sound like the detractors brought all this extra stuff into it. Some did. But there's a lot of fuckboy shit on his side of it too.
You know what? I said this back in June when I was swatted. I said, you put my life, Leanna's life, and those cops' lives in jeopardy today. And I
still don't think you got swatted. I'm sorry. I know people. I won't say it that way because that's not even how I look at it. But I understand the point that people try to make when it comes to Phil's situation with doxing, or not doxing, with the swatting. I just don't look at it as a swatting. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people didn't run in, they didn't fucking kick his door down, run into his crib and whatnot, put the fucking guns to his face and everything. They got on the fucking bullhorn, they told his ass and his girlfriend's ass to come outside and shit, and then they cleared the house room for room. That's not swatting. Now, you could make the argument that, okay, them kicking your door down and going in and them asking you to come outside is really all based on threat levels and so on and so forth, which are all compelling arguments. It's at the same time though too, that whole situation smells like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too convenient when you put that whole swatting situation together that it just worked out the way it did. And then where was the uproar and everything about it right then and there that night? No, you didn't catch that shit till like a day or two later, or a day later, or whatever. Then all of a sudden someone got into his ear and was like, hey Phil, that could have gotten really bad. And then Phil decided to victimize himself like the good hoe that he is. That's the reality. But that's neither here nor there.
Anyone who supports people who troll me like this, that led to that, well, shame on you. And then, of course, all the people who troll me came out and said, but we don't want that. We never asked for that. We never asked for the trolling. We never asked for the swatting. We condone trolling. We condone doxing. We condone everything else. We want your channel to shut down. But if the cops show up, that we don't condone. Well,
who they dox? You? You mean all the videos that had your fucking personal information on letters on your fucking bar? Or on your countertops back in the day? Or those piles upon piles of fucking boxes that you had in your corner that you were too lazy to break down and take outside that had all your information on it, and you said, oh, I don't give a fuck, I'm already a public figure, who cares, no one's ever going to do anything, no one ever does? You mean like that? That doxing? Fuck out of here.
Today, this guy is one of the big people in that community. He always has been. And everyone on Twitter is going nuts. Wow, congratulations. You got his streaming shut down. They're vile, sociopathic fucking people. If you see them on Twitter, every time I tweet something positive and they respond back with negative shit, block or mute. It's that simple. These are people you don't want to meet. These are people who are so fucked in their heads, they're not going to have productive, normal lives. Are you kidding me? Someone who's this is their mentality, they can't. They can't. What would they do if I actually went away tomorrow? If I didn't live stream and I finished with YouTube tomorrow? What if I won the lottery and I said, fuck this, I'm going off to the Bahamas and buying an island and, I'm going to live on the beach for the rest of my life? What would they do?
He wouldn't do that. Now, I had a conversation with somebody about this once. Early on, when I started making detractor content about if Phil went away, like if he won the lottery or something, what would people do? And I told him, or I told them, the same thing I'll tell you now. He wouldn't leave. He can't. His ego's too big. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, despite the fact that money is one of the driving forces behind him, his ego is even more. His ego outwins that. That's why WWE, and to prove that actually, WWE Champions proves that. WWE Champions proves that money isn't the driving force behind Phil. It's recognition and admiration. That's what that is. Why do you think his clan was so quick to go ahead and come and basically insulate him when the first time we tried to inquire into that shit? That's what it is. If my information is correct, they have somebody on the inside of that Discord, of the wrestling Discord. I think that person's on Kiwi Farms. That's what he's always wanted. He's always wanted to feel important, and he's always wanted to be recognized, even if he has to pay for it. But keep in mind, the money is just a means to an end. It's being recognized, it's being important, it's being praised is what means more to him than any dollar amount. If he went ahead and won the lottery tomorrow, for example, he would probably rebuild. He would probably build one of the biggest WWE champion leagues out there. Or not leagues, but clans out there. Literally. And he would attract other high rollers to him. If he could. If not, or he would just try to take over uselessness. One of the two. I feel like he'd probably just do that instead of start his own, because he's a lazy fuck. But money is just a means to an end. He has to feel recognized. He has to feel important. All it means is now is that the handcuffs, if you will, or the piggy cuffs are off of him. Now, if he wants to wild the fuck out, he will, because he doesn't give a fuck about the consequences. He knows he can't really get kicked off of YouTube. Twitch is an afterthought, because he'll have more money than most of them anyway. Not really, because they'll make more in the long run. Money's just a means to an end. It's public recognition is what he's hungering for. He always has. Which just makes him pathetic, by the way. But that's what the drive is. That's his goal in life. That's why he keeps throwing up the threat. What happens if I leave? What happens if I leave? Plenty of people have said that. Most of them don't leave. And they don't leave for a reason.
Guess what they would do? They'd find someone else. Because that's all they do. They attack people. They found me. They say Phil's the easy target, right? Because I don't have giant financial backing. Because I don't have hacker friends who would find out who these people are and attack them in retaliation. I don't. So because
Told you. Because I don't have big money. I don't have hacker friends to go off and retaliate and get these people's information and so on and so forth. Isn't it allegedly? Isn't KG... Wasn't he one of the guys on Phil's forums and in Phil? I don't know if he's really in Phil's community. I think he just hangs around Phil's forums because he's been there so goddamn long. Wasn't he the one going around and allegedly, I'm going to say alleged because I don't know, going around and actually doing dirt for Phil? Looking people's shit up? Swaggins was doing it. Swaggins admitted to doing that. Then he was sitting there trying to Google search people and try to find out who they were. Mainly detractors. There's a couple of people over there that do that. Not even a couple, a few. So, no, they're not hackers, but them guys have done dirt. Who was it that helped you get all this information, Phil? You had to have somebody that was somewhat competent. But we don't have hacker friends, and I don't have anybody that can help me get their information so I can retaliate, despite the fact that I have Be Awesome One's information, but I'm not going to retaliate. I'm not going to give his docs out. I'm not going to do anything. I collected all the information. Or whatever. He had somebody collect all of Be Awesome One's information, but I'm not going to do anything with it now that I've got it. Think about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. If Darksydephil could go ahead and find the information of anybody who would be considered in the upper echelons of detractors, you're telling me if he could come up with any other information, he wouldn't do anything with it? I mean, shit, with Be Awesome One, he threatened to go... He put out a very pathetic threat that maybe he would go overseas or across the pond and maybe pay him a visit sometime. He literally put out the implication that he might be willing to go over to Europe and find out what Be Awesome One's life's like. But I'm not going to do anything with his information, though. I don't have hacker friends to help me retaliate against these people and get their information. But I got this guy's information. I got your name, I got your IP, and I got your address. See the contradictions? They're quite a bit.
think it's completely one-sided. They could throw rocks at me. I can't throw fucking rocks back. And you know what? I refuse. I told you, I'm one man. I don't have the money, the time, the resources to go up against these people with lawsuits and all kinds of shit. And YouTube has no retaliation for it. YouTube is a piece of shit, an automated fucking website that has no retaliation whatsoever.
Now keep in mind, this cuck has had channels taken down and he's had videos taken down. But he has no means of reaching out to people to retaliate, none of those things. So let me get this straight. SOK took down tweets, right? Or at least that's what it said. It said that they've had tweets flagged. They've had videos against them taken down. And they didn't have nearly the scope of muscle with YouTube as Phil do. So how is it that SOK could have done those things, but Phil can't? And Phil has, and not only is it the amount of clout with YouTube that Phil had, but he also has machinima too. That's weird. That's real strange. It's real strange that this group right here was able to get people taken down and flag people and all this shit, but yet you couldn't, and you have not only an MCN, but you also have the sub count that would recognize you with YouTube, at least to some extent, to be able to reach out to those people if one was inclined to do so. Okay.
You know, the one thing I could ever do, right? Let's say my channel did actually get shut down. I would probably start a GoFundMe, and I would get people to hopefully support me to raise enough funds to actually get enough money to sue the fuck out of the people who did it. Because that's all I can do, right? And even then, who knows? Because it's just a kid. I won't get anywhere. Even if I win this big lawsuit, it won't matter. Phil wins lawsuit against Troll. Unfortunately, the Troll's a 17-year-old. So he got $4. You know? That's the problem with the internet life right now in the world. It's sickening. It's disgusting what people will do, the lengths people will go. But I want to let you know, I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to play the games that I said I was going to play. There just won't be live streams till the streaming goes back on. At this point, I've protected myself. There's not much else I can do now at this point, and I really don't foresee at this point what else could possibly happen. You know what I mean? Like, they've tried to hit me at every front, and, you know, at this point, Machinima's involved, YouTube's involved, and we're going to move forward as positively as we possibly can. I just want this drama to stop. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not being... I didn't get to play Metroid tonight, which I wanted to do. I can't live stream tomorrow. You know, I can't live stream for the next couple of weeks unless this gets cleared up more quickly. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And it's out of control. It's just out of control. For what? For people I don't know. I never met any one of these people. I don't know anything about them. I've already said publicly I want them out of my lives. I don't want to be involved. I don't want your criticism. I don't want your hate, your troll. None of it. I want none of it. I just want to be left alone and make the fucking videos on the internet that I've done since day one in 2008. And it's insane. It's insanity.
No one asked you what you wanted. If you're going to put yourself out there, and especially do it for profit, you should expect someone to have something to say about it, for ill or nil. And because he cut off the avenues on how people could express how they felt about that content is the reason why shit got to the way it is now. He let this shit elevate to where it is now. He's the proprietor of all this. If you really think about it, if you really, really think about it, he's the reason why things are the way they are. He has no one really to blame but himself. Has people taken it too far? Oh, yeah. Oh, certainly. On both sides. But he's the reasoning. He's the nucleus of all this shit. He's his own alpha and omega. He did it to himself.
That someone is literally now saying, I want to end you. Whether it's through your business, whether it's by swatting you, whatever it is, right? They want to end you. They want to end me. Well... you tried everything, right? I mean, what else are you going to do? I don't know, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I refuse to give up. I'm going to push forward positively. I am. And we're going to see what happens, okay? So, thanks everyone for being patient. Sorry I can't...
I don't even know why he even putting that whole push forward positively shit when he couldn't even keep that charade up. He could not even keep that charade up. How long has he been pushing that DSP positive bullshit and then turns around and attacks his own fan base later? Cut the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics out of all that for just a second. Indulge me for a minute. What about all the times that he ain't shitted on his own audience for not supporting him and for views, not supporting the Patreon, not supporting the Teespring, not supporting him on Twitch? not supporting the streams, if you will. But we're going to push forward positively. Fuck out of here.
For the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed that everything works out, right? And we'll go from there. And that's it. That's really all I have to say. All right, everyone. I'll have a new schedule up on Twitter tonight. It's going to be the games that I've wanted to play. Unfortunately, I just won't be streaming them, and we'll go from there. And that's about it. All right. That's the situation. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to clean up real fast, and then we can get started. Before we do that, though, congratulations to Snort and Mighty D for both hitting 12,000 subscribers. Good shit. Good shit. So congratulations to both of them. If you haven't had a chance to check out the latest videos, or go over there to say congratulations to them, please do. Please do. Actually, Mighty D has a community post out. You can actually hit him up there if you'd like. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a chance to clean up, and then we can go ahead and go into final thoughts. Just a second.
Chopping it with mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mints, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson, professor. He handling and hitting his possession. Ooh, what you cooking? Scalding hot beats, was blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out taking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really tryna date it out. What's the number tryna call out? What about my team? Wood, shawty don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, I'm sticking squirrel with the biggest girl. Slay sister, case get up. I think you're stripping, girl.
That's beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, final thoughts. I have your name, I have your IP, and I have your address. You fucked up. You fucked up big time. Okay, insert name here. At the time it was Be Awesome One, but now you can insert anybody's name into that. Snort, Almighty Tevin, Lightside Bill, Mighty D. Shit, you might as well go ahead and put Base Oslo and whatnot. You might as well put Agent Proper and James the Lesser in there. You can insert anybody's name into that position now, if one was inclined to do so. Wild shit, ladies and gentlemen. Just wild, nutty ass shit, to be perfectly honest with you. The contradictions, though, as I pointed out with the general I got your information shit, it's kind of disgusting to me for a lot of reasons, because it's very obvious that he does have the means. So why would he try to flex and say that he don't is weird. Like, I'm flexing right now telling you guys, I got your name, I got your IP, and I got your address. And this is how I was able to, with other people, to figure out who the fuck you were. But then I'm going to turn around and say, oh, well, I don't have unlimited funds and I don't have hacker friends to go ahead and to take you down or to retaliate against you. Huh? Do you not know what retaliation means? Do you not? Huh? Okay, whatever. So that was a gem. Also, the streaming capabilities and whatnot, like I said, I think he got that back within a couple of days. So, I don't know if he was trying to build up if he was trying to make him, it was like trying to false flag it to make it seem like he was in a worse position than he really was, because he wasn't. So, I don't really catch the flex on that one, but alright. At the end of the day, though, given all the references, like I said, I'll try to put all of the stuff for Susie Lou down in the description, as well as that one Twitch thought who's on her wild shit. I'll try to link all those videos down below, because they're pretty much just John Swan and Memology 101 videos, if I remember correctly. Unless there's something else out there that I'm missing, I'll make sure I'll put it down there too. But that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Like, all of the nonsense that's kind of going on now with the abuse of this and the abuses of that and so on and so forth, it doesn't originate with Phil Burnell, but Phil was way ahead of the curve of people who were self-entitled, people who wanted to abuse the system, people who thought they were owed more than what they had and whatnot, and who were really not willing to work for anything. He was the head of the curve for a lot of those things. And, I mean, that's just the reality. That's just the reality. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Heard Almighty Tevin had a stream last night, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that out and whatnot. And expect a decent amount of videos this week, and I will, if I have to, meaning that if I have to re-record them, I should say. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to seem like a lazy bastard or nothing. But if I have to re-record some stuff for the main channel and get that back up, I will. If we can work it out, great. Like I said, expect like 4 more videos over there, and then I'm going to have to take a hiatus until the channel issues get worked out. And that's just that. It's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality. And like I said, it might not be anything and whatnot. Members of the team are talking to YouTube and so on and so forth. It might not be a big deal at all, and maybe it's just a mess up or a misunderstanding. If not, you know, we have backups, so shit'll work out either which way and whatnot. It is what it is. And in the worst case, I had a good time, so I'll leave it at that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys for the next one, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Take care of yourselves, guys. Like I said, make sure to check out Snort and Mighty D, because like I said, they both hit 12,000. So go over there, say congratulations and whatnot. And if you guys get a chance, check out some of the links down below as it pertains to the Susie Lou situation and another self-entitled female streamer who thinks she hot shit. This is DSPNEWS second edition. Take care of yourselves, guys. Oh, it's so good.
Hey, I'm sick and swirl with the biggest girls. Laces the case, get up. I'm thinking stripping, girl. Damn, how sound that cliche, right? Well, I flame out brain. I'm the PK type. Come and rest in my nest. I'm a bet that night. Metaphor, girl, you gon' get that pipe. Whoa, wrong song. I'm thinking about bum bum. Chicka, wow, wow. The calling of my slong. The snapping of her thong. The rapping of this song. So tell you this boy's gifted, giving you my own soul. Hey, now what's better than that? Hey, hey, now what's better than that? Hey, and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rock and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rock and it don't stop. I'm just a nerd. Hey, 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 and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rock and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rock and it don't stop. I'm just a nerd, shout it. Hey, hey, I'm just a nerd, shout it. Hey, hey, I'm just a nerd, shout it. Street Fighter 2, that is my dude. Dark Cloud 2, that is the new. I like RPGs and everything. Metal Gear Solid, man, that's my swing. Hey,